Hello, Blue Fleet. How you doing? Welcome back to Ace Attorney. How we going? I ran the Monster Hunter benchmark earlier, right? And I don't know if this is a good score because I didn't really stick with much of it. But I got to the point where your character is on the secret behind Kaysen, going towards the lightning, and I've got an average 60 FPS. Yeah, it's pretty consistent. It's pretty decent. Hey, Ara, how you doing? Welcome in. So I'm kind of excited about the actual beta test being played tomorrow. I'm gonna get things stick bugged. Yeah, that's my class now. That's my weapon. We are stick bug. Okay. You're doing great for once. Excellent. You love to see it. You love to see it. I mean, the only thing that we could do, which would be making things really better for you, is to somehow cure you of being French. If we can do that, you're golden. Until then, we'll take whatever wins we can get, right? Yeah. Ah! Ow! Did I deserve that? Wait, no, I did kind of deserve that one. Alright, fair enough. Alright, let's jump on in. So, I think we're near the end of the captive turnabout. I hope we are. This case feels kind of long. Kind of girthy, you know? Right. Oh, and you'll be glad to hear that next Saturday, not this one coming, but the Saturday after, I'm finally getting that haircut. So my eye tracking should be significantly better at that point. Okay. Here we are again. Let's hope we can find something this time that will finally reveal the truth behind it all. Although, that might be easier said than done. There's nothing left to investigate! Judge Gavel's deduction yesterday. There is another possibility, one you seem to have overlooked. The well in the yard. Could a body not have entered the tunnel from there? In summary, the body must have been thrown down the well and moved to the workshop. At some point during the show. Tell me, who else could have done that but Mr. Saint? Ooh. Okay. Had Knight's body really been thrown down the well? The answer to that question will surely show us the way forward. But before we begin, I should tidy up my organizer a little. Okay. Understood. Let's see here. Huh, there's a cover on it. I tried a well slap bang in the middle of a prison. Figures would be locked. Well, luckily I'm a master lockpicker. Want me to do my stuff? I think not. We'll do this investigation by the book. Come on, don't be such a stick in the mud. Whoa! What is it, Kay? The lock's broken, and from the looks of it, it's been broken for a long time. If that's the case, then anyone could have thrown Knight's body down the well. Judge Gavel's theory was that Mr. Saint carried out the murder here in the yard, and then, during the performance, he threw the body down the well. What are you thinking, Mazzarino? Plausible or no? Oh, why don't we see if Misso can help us out again? He'll be able to tell us if Mr. Knight's body was here, and which way it went. Good idea. I'll call Detective Gumshoe. Excuse me. Gumshoe speaking. Detective, I need your assistance. Come to the prison yard and bring Missile with you. You bet, sir. Gumshoe's 7 secret weapons to rescue again, huh? I'm fairly sure Missile belongs to the precinct. I'd also like you to bring one of our witnesses. Call the Berry Big Circus and ask Miss Regina Berry to come down here with you. Yes, sir. I'll be there before you know it. Everyone's after Regina, apparently. Kind of creepy, but okay. So, what should we do while we wait for Gummy? How about a quick game of hide and go seek? Fun idea, kiddo, but where exactly would we hide? He's not seriously considering it. Your game can wait, Kay. We need to call on one of your more practical skills. I think you know the one. Oh, you bet I do. One crime scene recursion coming right up. Huh? Say what now? Let me show you. Introducing a great thief's great secret weapon, Little Thief. Ooh. Whoa! Whoa! Screens appearing from thin air? This is some next level Texas. Wanna talk me through the deets? What are you doing now? I'm inputting everything we need for the simulation. The simulation? Isn't that where we live? Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I've been trapped inside of the Matrix. Ah! Secrets I did not want to see. I've witnessed the heat death of the universe. I've witnessed stars fucking and making each other star pregnant. Oh no. Okay. Allow me to explain. This is Mr. Thief. It's a device that can recreate crime scenes at specific moments in time based on the data you feed it. How about I start off with a recreation of what the yard looked like yesterday? Yes, please use Mr. Thief to do that. What the fuck did you just tune into here? Cyber, you have a skill for coming into chat at the worst possible moment when I'm saying the worst, most cursed shit in the day. How'd you do it? No, but I mean, have you ever seen a newly formed star? They have to come from somewhere. Oh, it's the accumulation of cosmic dust and elements and gravity, and it's like, no, the stars, they do a little kiss and then they shoot out the baby, and it's all like, wah! But it's on a cosmic scale, right? On a cosmic scale. You've heard of someone wanting their OC to fuck a black hole, but the actual deed, no? Well, I mean, I suppose it depends on the black hole, right? Like, imagine you go to a black hole and you think, damn, that is some fine-ass looking gravitational singularity. And then the black hole starts reciting poetry that specifically asks for you by name. And you're like, okay. So you investigate further. And then one of your scientists vanishes. And then another scientist vanishes. But then they appear later on. And everything goes a bit strange. And then you realise what was will be and what will be is. And you realise that the worm loves you. And the worm loves us all. And we have to summon the worm in waiting into this universe. Aye! Best suck in the universe won't let you pull out, though. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, that black hole be having my babies. Don't you worry about that. Finest sea slug seed. You love to see it. Good idea. That was when they were in the middle of tearing down the stage. We didn't pay much attention to the well then. Who knows? We may have overlooked something. Leave it to me. I'll use the photo I took. Oh, hi, Ara. How you doing? Oh, well, we were talking about, like, fucking stars, right? And how star babies are made. And then it kind of went on to, like, the worm in waiting. That's all the data. Just gotta pump the projection power to max, and... Dark skies of evening, when no other bird dares take wing, one alone remains all-seeing. Now witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood. Is that her magical girl transformation? Yipes, what is this? It's a recreation of how things were yesterday, modelled on the data I gave Little Thief. This gadget was still used by the original Yasagarasu. Stop using that word. But they used it to plan robberies. Well, there's no harm in us using it for something on the right side of the law now. Oh, but keep in mind it can only recreate what you tell it to. Hello there, 39. Yes, it is I, Mr. Hexose. You'd ask why, but you guess I can't provide a satisfactory answer. No, because I've never played Satisfactory. I would consider it, but I've never played it. I can give you a Stellaris answer, though, right? A Stellaris answer is I'm referencing the Worm in Waiting questline, which happens when you find a black hole, which gives out a radio signal, and the radio signal calls for one of your scientists by name, but the signal is also far older than your entire civilization. Long time no see. Yes, it's been a while, hasn't it? Welcome back in. Welcome back in, my friend. How are you doing? It can't simulate things it doesn't have data for. It's the data itself contains mistakes. And you'll wind up with those same mistakes in the recreation too. But this particular recreation is based on case photos, so we shouldn't run into any problems. That's enough preamble. Should we get started? And a star sector answer is saturation bombing or commercial concurrence. Commercial concurrence sounds like... I mean, concurrence kind of sounds like toes, and commercial sounds like I'm selling them. I'm not selling pictures of my feet, alright? Don't forget, you can examine stuff in the recreation, just like in real life. You can also present evidence to try to clear up any inconsistencies you find. Look, you're the one who suggested it, Arahalis. Don't you bunk me for your misdeeds, you fiend, you ne'er-do-well. You didn't suggest shit. Yeah, I'll sass you out. Don't you worry about that. Of course, thank you for the reminder. Now, let's take a look at that well. Okay. Okay. We should examine this area carefully. It may just hold the clue we need. It's a metal weight of some kind. It looks like it weighs... The projection makes it a little tricky to read. Do you remember how heavy it was, Kay? Sure, it was 30 pounds. Okay. What does anyone need such a heavy weight for, anyway? Weightlifting. It doesn't seem related to the circus show at any rate. Hey, how we doing? Welcome in. How you doing? There's a sturdy-looking hemp rope lying on the ground. Kind of reminds me of the rope used for playing tug-of-war in school. The answer is no, Kay. What? I didn't even say anything. Yeah? I see it also has a metal stake attached to one end. Oh yeah, it looks like something you used to put up a tent. But there was no tent, was there? In which case, what was it used for? So this is actually a whip. You use this to kill Dracula. You had to do a lot of cleaning today. I am sorry to hear that. You hate to see it. I mean, I hate to see it. I hate doing housework. I do it because I have to, but, like, I don't like to. What are a bunch of pulleys doing here? They don't seem to be well pulleys for lifting buckets. Okay. Can I clicky? Yes. It looks like this was designed for raising and lowering a bucket. No sign of the bucket, though. Okay. You did some benchmark test for Monhun? Yeah, I had mine come back. Let me just pull it back up a second. Hold on. So mine benchmarked average 60 FPS, and it did pretty good, you know. It looks pretty nice. I'm running an AMD Ryzen 5 7600X 6-core, and then my graphics is a GeForce RTX 4070 Ti. These don't mean very much to me, but I'm sure they will to you because you like the whole, you know, tech stuff. So, yes. You get around 60 on Ultra without frame gen. Nice, nice. 115 with. What's frame gen? I don't know what this is. I've not heard of this term before. Elucidate me. The well was behind the stage, which means don't know how many people have got a thrown night's body on it during the show. This is looking worse and worse for Mr. Saint. So what do you think all the stuff around the well was used for? I can't see any of the animals needed for their part of the performance. AI used to create more visual frames? Oh, okay. Understood. Indeed, nothing immediately strikes me as a likely purpose. We'll have to ask Miss Berry later. Okay. These chairs must have been for the audience. Wow, I pity whoever had to put them all away. Really? Why? Huh, you've clearly never had to fold up a bunch of boring chairs before, huh? Not personally, I've told other people to do it, though. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth, you gotta roll up your sleeves and help out once in a while. I'll consider it. You're gonna be away from your computer once WARDS comes out, so no WARDS for 2 months after release? Oh, ow. That sounds painful, Ara. Yes, this is where the circus show stage stood. Do you think people would be interested in a great thieving show? I'm sure the police would be very eager to attend. Pfft, K. A wicker basket, or rather a cart given the wheels. Hey, wouldn't it be fun to hop in it and race down a hill? Finally get your engineer degree? Ooh, yeah, okay, yeah. That is actually a reasonable excuse for getting out of playing Monster Hunter. AI, the frame gen is not the best thing. Doesn't affect the frame the game is actually running. Ah, right, I see. Okay. I mean, to be fair, I can't tell the difference between 30 FPS and 60 FPS anyway. And I think this is a brain injury thing. Before anyone says anything, I think it's just the fact that because my eyes are fucked from the brain injury, I can't tell the difference. I've been told by Andy on several occasions, oh, 60 FPS, pal. It's rate better than 30 FPS. I'm like, mate, my eyes can't see it. I literally cannot see it. And he's like, you're an old man, you are, pal. And you know what? Yeah, you're right. And Andy, if you're listening, I realise that that is the worst impression of you that I could possibly do, but the actual words are pretty close to the conversation, I think. And you're right, it is because I'm an old man with a busted-ass brain and a busted-ass set of eyes. So, you know, it's, you can't see the difference between 30 and 59, but once it hits 60, it seems so much smoother. Huh. Interesting. Oh, you know what else would be fun? Racing down a hill in office chairs. Where did any of that come from? What was the name of our trunk-happy friend again? Let's see, the Asian elephant. Of course, how could I forget? Not exactly inspired, though, is it? Was Miss Berry having an off day when she came up with it? Oh my gosh, Mr. Edger, I thought you found the poor elephant herself. I suspect that's about all there is to find for now. Detective Gumshoe should be here soon, too. Kay, you can power down Mr. Thief now. Sure thing. Prepare to return to normality. Edgeworth is such an out-of-touch boomer. But, like, he's quite young, isn't he? He's, like, 28, I think, in this. Sorry, sir. Came as quick as I could. How old's he? Doesn't tell us how old he is in this. You decided against trying for the Holofest ticket lottery. You know what? I didn't even know that the lottery was a thing until people started saying, "Oh, I've won," and all that. And it's like, I'm glad for the people who won and were like passionate about it, but I don't really have very much reason to try anymore. So, kind of sad. It is what it is. Ooh. Ah, speak of the devil. Ah, detective. That was indeed impressively quick. You know me, sir. Never did like to keep you waiting. Thanks for coming all this way too, Regina. No problem. This seemed way more fun than rehearsal, so I ditched them for the day. It's very much appreciated. Alright, detective, let's get started with Missile. Yes, sir. Hey, Missile! Over here, boy! What's the matter? Come on, boy. Come on. What's wrong with him? Looks like he's scared of something, sir. Oh, it's the alligator. Ah! Alligator! Guess he's not a fan, sir. Well, I doubt he'll be of much help to us like this. Any other bright ideas, Mazzarino? Yes, actually. Miss Berry, would you mind lending us a hand? Oh, I'd love to. Just tell me what you need. Do you want me to teach Ali some tricks? I don't doubt she could do it, but nothing quite like that. I'd simply like an account of what the yard looked like during the show. Oh, I like that where this is going. You're thinking of using Little Thief again, am I right? If you'd be so kind. Why does she have this animation? Like, why is she sniffing her finger and looking so pleased with herself? Like, it honestly, like, I see this face, and it's like she's farted on her finger, and she's just having like, and it's just like, okay, that's fucking disgusting. Why are you so pleased with yourself? Like, I understand that there is an artistry to, like, farts and manufacturing the most rancid smells and unleashing them on other people and smiling because you know that you've done God's work for this day. But, like, there's a limit, man. Okay, I've plugged in all the data. I'm firing up the simulation. Whee! Here you go. This is what the yard was like during the show. The time at which the body was purported to have been thrown down the well. Oh, wow! This is so amazing! It's like magic! Haha, no magic here. Just sweet, sweet data. Oh my god, Kay uses Microsoft Excel. What an absolute nerd. What an absolute nerd. I'm very upset right now. Which is why the area behind the stage is missing. Yeah, Regina said she wasn't involved in getting the stage set up. So we don't have any data on what it was like back there. No data, no simulation, huh? Brutal. If you tell me Little Thief runs on Excel spreadsheets, look at the colour of Little Thief and then look at the icon for Microsoft Excel and tell me you don't see a correlation. Hmm? Look me in the eye and tell me that. Go on. Straighten my eyes. Straighten my eyes and tell me that. Hmm? Yeah? You understand, I hope. Oh, I'm so sorry, you guys. It's all because I let Simeon do everything by himself. Oh, no, it's all my frilly associate's fault. Objection, Fender. Anyway, we've got a fresh simulation now, but it's over the other data too. Hey there, Bunny Hop, how you doing? Welcome in. Welcome to Ace Attorney. We're playing Investigations 2 today. Oh yeah. I can switch back whenever you want the recreation of them taking down the stage. So we can examine the scene both during and after the show. And switch between the two at will. I can switch between recreations by using T to talk with K. Now then, let's continue our investigation, shall we? Okay. This is bullshit. Look at this. Look at this. How? This is busted. Look at this. What the fuck is this? Look. His leg is out here, and it will hit sort of around there. But his actual hurt box is like there. That's such a fucking disjoint. And he's got an anti-air hip. He's got an anti-air like portion as well there. They need to nerf this. This needs to be nerfed immediately. Arc System Works. I want to speak to Arc System Works right now. You need to nerf this clown immediately. Broken balance. Broken balance. I'm not playing your game. The biggest nerf is how the fuck are Simon and that tiger the size of an elephant? It's a pygmy elephant. Have I seen an elephant? Yeah. My first response was, damn, that's big. My second response was, ha ha ha, his head looks like boobs. His head looks like boobs. A story of forbidden love between a tiger and an elephant. Wish I could have seen it. Wish I could have seen Simeon up there on that stage too. Oh, he was wonderful. The way he flew off that stage. Ah, yes, that scene. This victory is depicted in a very unique manner, whereby the villain is sent flying from the stage. Having been ejected from the stage in this manner, the villain no longer appears in the performance. And you're saying the crime took place during that time? Roughly how long would you say Mr. Saint was off stage for, Miss Berry? Let's see. I guess it was around 15 minutes. Just as Judge Gavell said. Ain't it pretty hairy health and safety-wise having an elephant fling a guy off the stage? Not at all, as he is very gentle. I'm not sure it changes much if she flings him gently or roughly. Too gentle, in fact. When we first rehearsed it, she barely nudged him. But by the end, he was flying off that stage. Not because of his ear, though. Simeon had figured out some kind of trick, apparently. Isn't that amazing? A trick? Do you have any idea what kind of trick? I do. Who, me? Oh no, it's Simeon's big thing. I wouldn't know where to start. Yeah, that's obviously got to be the ropes and pulleys. Can I put those two things together? Yeah, I'm going to try and logic those together. Because I think they go together, right? I'm going to get my sellotape and my stapler. My Stiletto tape, right? His head looks like tits. That's very funny. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, dear. But yeah, I think Asian elephants tend to be quite small compared to African elephants. And also, this could be like a young one. So the size is not unreasonable. You know, I don't think it's a full grown. I didn't mean to do that. I pressed the wrong button. I wanted to do logic. What's logic? Yeah! The trick Mr. Saint performed for his big scene, could it have something to do with all the items we found by the well? Okay, I'd like to have another look at the equipment around the well from yesterday. Can you have Mr. Thief bring up the recreation from when they were tearing down the stage? You got it. Why isn't she correcting him? Okay. Taking another look at these items, could they not have been used for this trick of Mr. Saint's? Oh, Magical 8-Ball Shinsu, what is a better buy? 12 Japanese light novels or the complete Supernatural series? Which light novels? This is an important question. I don't know Supernatural at all, but like, depending on the quality of the light novels, that might impact my answer. In fact, it almost certainly will impact my answer. Goblin Slayer. Yeah, go for Goblin Slayer. Definitely. The books are pretty good. Like, the books are not quite as brutal as the actual anime, if you ask me. Well, except for the part in year 1 where that poor young elf gets absolutely mulched. But beyond that, you know, they're pretty like pretty good. You know, they don't go over the top with things too much. I mean, sometimes they go a little bit over the top, but then it's like we raise the top so they're still under the top. And then we go to the very big circus and it suddenly turned about big top. It was such a hard choice. Yeah. A very hard choice. A very hard choice indeed. But yeah, I mean, I've got a few of them upstairs. I have an entire library in my loft. I like books. I have a very severe case of tsundoku, which is a condition whereby you buy books with sometimes not always the intention to read them. Like, some of my books are there to just kind of... I do want to read them all eventually, but they're there to kind of pad the collection out, you know. Sounds plausible enough. Hey, maybe I can answer the simulation. Good idea. Please go and ask Mr. Saint for the details. Roger that. I'll be right back. Oh, excuse me. Just gonna check something real quick, chat. Give me a second, alright? Okay. I'm back. Hey, Hades, welcome in, welcome in. I'm back, and he told me exactly how he did it. Well, how does it work? You see, I'm frozen. I was just checking something real quick then. He said he used the pulley at the top of the well to suspend a heavy weight from a rope. And lowered that down into the well. The other end of the rope went through 2 more pulleys and was tied around his body. I see, so he used the downward pull of the weight to help him launch himself into the air. But how did he make sure the weight only dropped when he wanted it to? He used a stake to stop it, that's how. Miss Berry didn't seem to know anything about the trick or the contraption he built for it. In which case, I suppose it must have been Mr. Saint himself who pulled out the stake. That's right, and to do that, he used a second length of rope. He tied it to the stake, and then, when he gave it a sharp tug... Whee! The stake was released and the weight dropped down the well. It's a great trick, I have to steal it! This one has to go in Great Thief's repertoire. It may not be quite that easy. These kinds of circus tricks can require years of practice to master. Do you know what my favourite circus trick is? Right? My favourite circus trick is teleporting a grown-ass woman across an entire stage and then having her little twink friend pick up a 45 caliber revolver and shoot a guy with it without taking so much as a shoulder injury whilst also being blind. That's my favourite magic trick. I think it's absolutely top. I don't think you can match the quality of a magic trick like that. And I don't think I can brook any argument on that point, so we'll move on. Simply stealing the idea won't be enough. Alright, practice it is then. Well, before you run away to do so, would you mind updating the simulation? Oh, right, then we can say it will work for ourselves. Okay, I'm switching back to the recreation of the performance. Yippee! And now to add in the data. Little Thief should be able to reproduce the trick now. Okay. So this is how Mr. Saint performed his trick. Seeming's full of surprises, huh? I mean, dropping a weight down a well to help him off the stage like that, that's genius! Indeed, but I imagine he would have needed quite a lot of weight, more than him at the very least. And it would have taken some serious pull to lift him into the air like that. Yeah, and probably a ton of practice. Okay. Hey, Missile. What are you sniffing at? Gumshoe looks really concerned. Gumshoe's just like, what's going on over here? I don't like this. Okay, we've checked... No, we haven't checked this. It's the pen that held Azia, the Asian elephant. Now empty, as the lady herself is on stage. I wonder how they got her in here in the first place. What do you mean? Well, the entrance to the yard is people-sized. And there's like a gazillion megawatts pumping through that fence.
Kind of risky, no?
Not if one turned off the electricity.
Yeah, but then all the prisoners would escape.
Through an entrance blocked by an elephant? I think not.
This is a real puzzle, alright. I need to give it some more thought.
She seems to be enjoying the challenge. I'll leave her to it. The basket was empty in the other recreation.
Oh yeah, but it was definitely empty in the photo I took too.
Interesting.
Oh, sorry, I made a mistake when I was filling you in earlier.
Oh?
That basket's for holding Zia's food, but... on the morning of the show, all the apples that were in it had vanished. Poof! I totally forgot to mention it. Sorry. Tee.
Disappearing apples. I should make a note of this. Yeah, Regina's back. This isn't the Regina that we want to be back. The Regina that we want back has red hair, and she looks at, like, disemboweled dead bodies and just says, well, that's disgusting. Oh, come on, Capcom. Capcom, come on. Come on. Like, GOG releasing the PC port of Dino Crisis and Dino Crisis 2. Chef kiss. 10 out of 10. But, Capcom, listen to me. What you did with Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3, do that to Dino Crisis. Please. I'm on my knees begging and shitting and farting and pissing and burping and coming and farting again. Please, Capcom, for the love of God. Okay. I'm calm. I'm calm. I'm calm. Okay. Oh, we've already gone through this bit. Hang on, how do I skip through text again? How do I skip through text, Ara? Do I just hold my mouse button down? I'll just skip on through. I accidentally clicked on it. I didn't mean to. Whoopsie doopsie. Okay. The chairs are lined up neatly for the show, though we know that there were a few empty seats during the performance.
Ah, something about this space. The way the seats are arranged. Reminds me of a karaoke contest I entered as a kid.
You entered a karaoke contest?
I sure did, and I came in second. Even in the depths of night, when no other bird dares to take flight. One alone soars to shine. The light of righteousness on the world's blight.
Team Rocket blast off at the speed of light. Surrender now or prepare to fight, fight, fight. Meowth, that's right. Tell me you didn't actually sing that.
I sure did.
She did well to take second place, or perhaps stole is more apt. Or is it more that she failed to steal first place? I'm overthinking this. Okay. So we examine this again? Mr. Sage used the well to construct a contraption that would send him flying from the stage. It made clever use of 2 ropes. This tarp, it's just like the one we saw at the workshop.
This tarp, it's just like the one we saw in the workshop.
Yes, but why is it here?
But why is it here? Are you okay, Mr. Edgeworth? You've gone kinda blank.
And I intend to stay blank until you stop stealing my thoughts. What if, Edgeworth? What if Kay stole something else from you? What if Kay slunk into your office one evening and she stole your limited edition steel samurai statuette and she just runs off with it? And you never see that statuette again, Edgeworth. What then? You'll realise you should have been nicer to her and given her more head pats and offered her... Not the steel samurai statue. So Phoenix. Phoenix is not in Edgeworth's office. Phoenix is in Edgeworth's bed. Right? Let's be clear about that. Phoenix does not stay in Edgeworth's office at all. He is in the bed. Phoenix in that relationship is very much a house husband. And then Edgeworth gets home and he sees Phoenix's thighs and he does that whole... wow, I want them to sandwich me. And Sakurajima Phoenix is just like, oh my god, you're such a pervert. And then Edgeworth's just like, yeah, kind of. Go watch Rascal Doesn't Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. It's very, very good. It's one of my favourites. It's peak. It is really just tip-top.
That's one heavy weight. Kind of makes you think how much this must all be weighing on Simeon.
It does. I'm not sure I quite see it myself. Agile. Uh-oh.
Oh, too bad we don't have the real thing here. Otherwise, I'd hang it around your neck like a big old albatross. Then we'll see how you like it.
You'd face some stiff resistance if you tried, and I can promise you that. Oh, and now we go up top. Okay. A pulley and a rope. I suppose the two do tend to go together. You gotta go around the dogs for the night. Ah, no worries, Dod. So you take lots of care, right? Get them dogs rounded up, and don't let them out, right? Do not allow the dogs out, because then, right, then the people who you're getting the dogs rounded up for would say, who let the dogs out? Who? And then you just be like, well, I didn't let the dogs out. It's like, well, you were the one who's putting them away. And you're saying, no, I didn't let the dogs out. But you did let the dogs out. But what if you didn't let the dogs out? What if you became the dogs? This meme is old. Your message last night got copied and pasted. Wait, was that from last night? Okay. That's a bit strange. Is that how British people sing pop? You want to hear a British person sing pop? I see how it is, Cyber. Okay. Why don't you phone copy and paste that? Oh, okay, no worries. Sometimes my phone retains stuff on the clipboard for, like, days. So, it's probably just, like, technology being weird, I guess. How do British people sing pop? Well, let me tell you, we do it very, very depressedly, right? We do it in an incredibly depressive way. It's like brutalist architecture, but musical. And we're just kind of like, we're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. A full commitment's what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. It's Rick! The timing! That's getting clipped. I've clipped that. That was amazing. Fantastic. Oh no. If someone broke in your house and stole your has been or hell of a boss poster, they'd have a fight on you. She'd have a fight on your hand? Excuse me? You dirty devil. You what? You dirty devil. You don't go straight for the fight on your hand. You gotta riz them first, right? You gotta woo them with flowers and your has been or hell of a boss poster.
Can't have one without the other.
Closest thing you have to a statuette are posters. I'd show you the... I mean, you've probably seen the figurines that I've picked up recently, because I've posted them in the Discord, but I did get one of Shuo-chan from VTuber Legend recently, which is quite nice. Sorry, but the proper pairing in this case is a great thief and a set of handcuffs. Transformers counts as figurines. Transformers, I live in your eyes. Autobots wage their battles to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons. This is the rope that was hanging down the well. His batteries are dying.
Well, there's no pinata at the end of it, and definitely no bucket.
Do try to be serious, Kay.
Oh, come on, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm just trying to lighten the mood.
So cut it out with that stare of yours. Actually, she may be onto something. We might want to consider what could have really been attached to the end of the rope. Oh, wait. Are they suggesting the body? Sorry, I thought... Give me a second, guys. I thought I said something. Hold on. Yeah, wife's off out to the cinema tonight with a friend. Maybe my wife can fix him. No. No, she can't fix me. I can't be fixed. I can't be fixed. I can't be fixed, because I won't change. How are these Spineshank jokes working? Actually, Spineshank announced a reunion recently. So the only person who's not coming back for the reunion is Mike Sarkeesian, the guitarist. And I think it's because he retired from the music business completely. So you got Johnny Santos, you've got Rob Garcia, you've got Tommy Decker, and then for guitars, they've got Tommy Decker's son, and they've got Jason Hagar, who was the original guitarist for Chimera. And it's like, okay, I can get behind this. Now, it kind of sucks that Mike's not coming back to do the second reunion, but at the same time, I get it, you know. And, you know, I don't doubt they asked him, he's probably just turned it down. It's just been like, okay, let's get Jason to do it. Like, yes, excellent. If you don't know Spineshank, go listen to their excellent album, The Height of Callousness from 2000. It might be 25 years old, but it is still one of my go-to angry albums. Get fucked, bot. Seribot, bonk. You know what I need to do, right? I need to get some sort of animation that I can pull up where when Seribot bans something, I just press it on my stream deck and it goes, Seribot, obliterate! And then it does like the whole Exodia beam thing. I think that's a fucking great idea. I'm going to do that. Oh, baby. Right, okay. So, Mr. Thief. The pond? This pond is home to Warden Lagarde's beloved alligator. And look, those bones must be from my latest meal. I somewhat doubt an alligator could pick a carcass clean like that. You think? I got the feeling she was rather ladylike in her own way, actually. If you say so. Well, I do. I kind of have a sixth sense for these things. An interesting talent, not one I'm particularly envious of. It plays Galvatron shooting Starscream. Coronation Starscream? This is bad comedy. What an amazing scene. That would be actually kind of baller. Or maybe have like a series of things like Galvatron shooting Starscream, Exodia destroying Kyber. Is this you, Megatron? Here's a hint. Amazing. The other thing you could put in there as well, right, is you could probably put in there something like Cell putting a hole in his trunks, you know, that sort of thing. That would be kind of a mega idea, don't we think? Okay. We can't go in the power room. I think we might need to switch between the performances now. Let's switch over. Top 10 anime beatdowns. Fuck yeah. Alright, you want me to change the recreation to yesterday's stage teardown? Here you go. This is how things look when we're taking down the stage. Just name the enemy chat and realizing chat's parental expectations on it to destroy emotionally. To release it. Yes. So, interesting fact about the fish bones. The alligator definitely didn't eat it, and I can tell you why. Alligators and crocodiles, and crocodilians in general, have the most powerful and efficient digestive systems in all of nature. So, like, they digest everything. They don't just, like, digest things down to the bones and shit out the bones. No. They digest the bones as well. And, like, it's fucking brutal. Like, if you got swallowed whole by an alligator, you would just be melted into fucking soup paste. And it's like, the alligator would then shit you out, and it's like, this human has become paste. I will now make miso soup with this human's remains. And it's like, suddenly you're being turned into miso soup, and the alligator's putting tofu in, and vegetables, and spring onions, and a single egg. Oh no, you've become alligator ramen. You've become ramen noodles. And now the alligator's eating you again, right? So that's how I can tell you quite confidently. This fish was not eaten by the alligator, it was something else. Personally, right? Personally, I think it was Rocco who did that. I think it was the Bronx boxer, you know. Gotta go eating? Yeah, no worries, Ara. I will catch you soon, no doubt. But you take care, alright? Do I need to logic now? I think I might need to logic. What logics can I do? That was the wrong button. I actually need to press, Welcome to Vor fanfic stream. No, this is not a fanfic. Not at all. No. Okay. No, this is actually real. Like, if, you know, alligators and crocodiles, they are not to be fucked with. Like, they just leave nothing behind at all. Wait, doesn't this seem odd to you? No. You haven't noticed, Detective. There's something strange about the weight we found. How heavy it is? How there's only one? What it's made of? A very heavy weight. Hey Andy, how you doing, man? Welcome in. How we going? Welcome to Ace Attorney. I ran the benchmark. Let me tell you what my benchmark for Monhun came back with. So my Monhun benchmark came back at 60 FPS, which looks like 30 FPS to me. And don't worry, we've already told chat about the fact you've told me many a time, no, 30 FPS is different to 60 FPS. And I'm just like, it's not to me, because my eyes are all busted and my brain's all broken by a big stick when I was a kid. And yeah, it ran pretty good. It ran pretty good. So I think it's how there's only one of them, because the weight, 30 pounds, is lighter than an average person. Oh no, not this again. No. But I mean, the game ran fine, you know. So I'm going to be playing the beta tomorrow, and I need to go and hunt down the. I need to hunt down the blue flashlight, and I need to hunt down Raymond if I can, and then also maybe Big Weld from Robots. Like, Big Weld is kind of sexy. When we think about it, we're going to like tangent out to Big Weld for a moment. Like, you look at the film Robots, and when I was a young kid, I used to think, oh, you know, the girl robot looks like Ica from Skies of Arcadia. And as I've grown up, I've realised, no, Big Weld is just a daddy. You know, he's got money, he cares, he actually pays attention to societal issues. You know, you could rest your head on his pomfy robot chest, and you would just drift away into blissful comfort. So you can't convince me that Big Weld is not kind of like, you know, a Pimp Daddy Pojo, all right? Just so that we've covered that point off, okay? Okay. So I think it's how there's only one. The problem is the number of weights. That is to say, the one weight on its own wouldn't be heavy enough. That's what I thought. A single 30-pound weight couldn't have lifted Mr. Saint off the ground. Oh, yeah. In which case, could there perhaps be some weights missing? Sounds like a job for my 7 secret weapons, sir. Should the need to use them arise, I suppose I should speak with him then. So, okay, we need to... I think then we need to get the metal detector. You know if I need either of them, detective. Okay. Do I actually have them? I somehow don't. Ha. Okay. Bit strange, but okay. Do. Right, so. I could use the metal detector. I see, I understand. Detective, I have need of one of your secret weapons. Roger that. The metal detector, if you would, be so kind. Ah, jeez, I'm never going to get to use my fishing rod. So, before we get started, let me run you through how the metal detector works, sir. It's simple enough. It uses this sound and this gauge to tell you how close you are to something made of metal. The closer you get, the more strongly it'll react. When it starts going wild like this, just give me the order to examine the spot where I'm standing. Say, what have we got here? Oh, the fence. Anyway, that's how it works. You tell me where you want me to look, sir, and I'll get right on it. We're playing as Gumshoe. Right, this is the rest of the stream now, guys. We're Gumshoe now. So, look, there's something made of metal here. There's something made of metal here, right? Now we go over here and we're walking towards the band Ghost. We were walking towards the band Ghost because it was not metal anymore. Why are Ghosts popular? Like, genuinely, I can't stand them. I can't believe it. We're playing as Gumshoe. Arrow, you motherfucker. You never told me we got to play as best boy. But I know that you're happy for me. We get one, but it's still weak, sir. It's like up here. I got something. There's something here, sir. Oh, it's a gold coin, sir. What a find. It'll go down in history. I don't imagine a gold coin would stay hidden long in a prison yard. Oh, you found it. Never would have guessed it was hiding there this whole time. That's one of the coins from the big coin up we hold once every 2 weeks. Yeah, that sounds kind of interesting. Must be fun for the whole family. Sure is. Prisoners have to hunt for the coins of wood buried around the yard. And if they find 3 silver coins and 1 gold coin, they can swap them for a jelly donut. A jelly donut? Isn't that those things that Brock Pokemon always has? The ones that look kind of like onigiri, but they're actually jelly donuts? First the show, now a treasure hunt. Is this a prison or a playground? Okay. Alright, let's get back to it. Okay. Why is it reacting to those? Why is it reacting to... Why? Regina? What's in your shoes? We're close, sir. There's something metallic nearby. Oh my god, Regina's a robot. It's where she is. I found something. There's something here, sir. I don't see anything metallic. What did the detector pick up? Oh, guess it must have just picked up some iron sand. Iron sand, as in sand you can pick up with a magnet. That's the stuff. You can find it at the beach sometimes. And I got just the thing. We need right here. Introducing secret weapon number 6 or 7. Are you making this up as you go along? A same with the ordinary magnet I found at the hardware store. Watch this. I'll just bring it close to the ground and... Ta-da! It's picking out the iron. Woo! Come on, little guys. Come to Papa. It must be nice to be so easily entertained. Regardless, the investigation must continue. He's been competent, I know! Hey! Did you just mug off Gumshoe, Cyber? Did you just mug off Gumshoe? Did you... Are you... Listen. I'm Edgeworth. It's my job to be a little tunson towards Gumshoe. Because secretly I want to, you know, rest my head on his voluptuous man boobs. And then I use that fact to make Phoenix jealous. Ah, interesting. Sir, I'm picking up something over here. Let's take a little look-see. Huh? He's always competent. Ara, you didn't tell me we get to play as Gumshoe. You didn't tell me we get to play as Gumshoe. Oh, yeah, so I was just talking about the fact that alligators and crocodiles have digestive systems that can basically mulch anything completely. Like, there's not even bones left. It's mental. It's actually insane. I think they've got very efficient digestive systems because, like, where they live, you know, there's a lot of danger for them. And they need to make sure if they eat something, it's going to keep them going, you know? They're basically protein maxing. Waste not, want not, right? Found these little guys in grass. They're the same as the weight we found by the well. They must be from Mr. Saint's trick. Did someone hide these here on purpose? I count 4 altogether, sir.
They'd be more than heavy enough to send him flying.
So somebody hid several of the same weights as the one by the well. But why? And why over here? Because the alligator's there? Yeah, nice work, mate. Ah! Alligator! That thing nearly gave me a heart attack. What's the matter, detective? It's the metal detector, sir. It's reacted to the alligator. What? How? You're sure it's not responding to the weights we just found? No, sir. I'm sure this is something different. And I'm sure it's coming from the alligator. And she's gone. He got startled by the gator, but he knows he can wrestle it. Yeah. He will turn that gator into his lusty Argonian maid, and he will sire many beautiful egg babies from it. And they will grow up and they'll look like Killer Croc from Arkham Asylum. Like really fucking huge muscular alligators, but they'll have the temperament of Gumshoe. So you know that you can trust them. And the way that these gators spend the rest of their lives is kind of like the Ninja Turtles. They don't go around trying to eat Batman. They actually go around the countryside raising barns for old folk who are not quite firm enough to do it themselves. It's very wholesome.
Ah, we scared that big snapper good. I don't think that's it, Kay.
Huh?
Then what is it? Ali hasn't been herself lately.
Oh. Between Vor, Star Empreg, and the alligator sort, you're seeing my fursona coming together? What? I don't have a fursona. I don't have a fursona at all. No. No. I mean, if I did, I don't even know what it would be. Like, I genuinely have no idea. Let's think. What would my persona be? So my persona would be a giant dinosaur, but it's not actually a dinosaur. It's a Gundam, and the pilot of the Gundam dinosaur is an Among Us. Glaucus' main defense system is being eaten and poisoning their predator. No, the main defense system that we have, right, is being so poisonous they don't eat us at all, ever. You know, we basically, like, they try and eat us and we sting them, and it's like, no, fuck off, get off of me. Get off of me, you goblin motherfucker. And then they get stung and die. And we laugh, and we eat their bodies. It's just a little bit of cannibalism, you know?
She wouldn't even look at the food Warden Leguard bought her yesterday. She was acting as if, I don't know, as if maybe she'd eaten something that didn't agree with her.
She ate the apples. Maybe the metal detectors respond to whatever she ate, sir.
Oh no! What if she ate one of the weights?
I highly doubt that even an alligator could swallow a 30-pound lump of iron. So what did the metal detector actually pick up? And why would someone hide those weights? Perhaps I missed something when I looked at the equipment by the well. Okay, could you recreate the scene again?
Coming right up.
Okay. Okay. We got a deduction to make, huh? Okay. Okay. This... I have an idea. I have an idea. Okay, yeah, I thought that was a long shot, so I'm gonna reload that because I don't want to spend. I don't mind getting it wrong genuinely, but I was like, I'm gonna take a punt on this one. It didn't quite work out, so we need to make a deduction. Is there any? We need to make a deduction. Okay. A contraption that used the well, a very heavy weight, 3 pulleys, and 2 lengths of rope to send Saint flying during the show. Okay. Bells, chisel, autopsy report, tunnel prints, gates, chess. Where's the other rope? Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe it's this bit because there's a rope missing, right? Let's try that, shall we? Try deducing the trick on the rope. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we'll try that. We'll try that. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. I'm doing that a lot today, apparently. Ah, good call, Hades. Think about the two recreations, the one during the performance, the one we're looking at right now. There's a major difference between the two. Namely, that one of the ropes is missing.
Oh yeah.
Mr. Saint's trick wouldn't work with only the items we see before us. So what happened? Where did the missing rope go? I think one of the pieces of evidence we've collected might tell us exactly that.
Really?
What shows us where the missing rope went? So I was actually in the right sort of frame of mind. I just hadn't quite, like, gone deep enough yet. I need to go balls deep. I need to go balls deep on Bronco Knight's body. Okay, understood.
Take that!
This rope was found beside Knight's body.
Wait, you mean...
Yes, it must have been the other rope used in Mr. Saint's trick.
So you're saying...
Yes, that this rope did indeed have a weight attached to it. But it wasn't any of the iron weights we found. We need to go what's on Mr. Knight's body. What's on Mr. Knight's body? A poop-covered rubber glove. Oh my god, he got fisted to death. Oh no. Oh, I don't care for this at all, Ara. Oh no. Ow. It's not my fault. Ah! Why? Grr. Okay. But it wasn't any of the iron weights we found. Those were hidden in the bushes and replaced with something else.
What was it, Mr. Edgeworth? Come on, I'm dying here.
Think about what the rope we found in the workshop was related to. Do that and you'll soon figure out the answer. The weight dropped down the well in place of the iron weights was... Mr. Knight's body.
Take that!
It could only have been Knight's body that was dropped down the well.
What? Mr. Knight's body was the weight?
Yeah, somebody first swapped out the weights used for Mr. Saint's trick. Then, Mr. Saint used the contraption to make his exit from the stage. When he left the rope around his body loose, both the rope and Knight's body fell to the bottom of the well. That rope was never used to restrain Knight. It was used to suspend his body halfway down the well. From this, we can easily see why most of the weights were hidden. Well, well, well. Yeah.
So nobody would realise they'd been replaced with the body.
Precisely. We can then further deduce that they were hidden by the killer. Whoa there, gang.
Wasn't poor old Bronco stabbed in the neck? Wouldn't there be blood everywhere, including down the well?
Oh, the killer thought of that, which is why they used this. What did the killer use to stop Knight's blood from going everywhere? Well, in that case... Yeah, that's pretty good, 80s. The tarp.
Take that!
This tarp was found with the body. I think it's likely that Knight's corpse was wrapped in it.
Oh, another piece of the puzzle falls into place. It's all coming together now. Love it. But all we're doing is proving that the body did go down the well, which means we're hoping to prove that Simeon was the killer.
No, not quite.
But what about what Judge Cavell said yesterday?
Ah, but if Mr. Saint truly is the killer, why would he need to go to such lengths to commit his crime?
That's true.
Knight's body fell down the well when Mr. Saint used his contraption during the show. Therefore, it reveals nothing about where the real killer actually was or what they were doing at the time. It's only designed to throw suspicion onto those who were not at the show.
Yeah, I guess we did suspect Mr. Canis right away, huh?
That was the killer's goal, to make us think that the crime took place during the show. In other words, they used the well contraption to construct an alibi. Miss Berry, when exactly did Mr. Saint put his contraption together?
It would have been the day before the show. The night before, actually. Yeah. We started getting ready for the show around 9 PM.
That's an alibi well made. Exactly. Precisely that, Ara. Precisely that. Yeah.
And I think we finished it around midnight.
In which case, the killer must have switched the weights out for the body after that point. Okay. Interesting. I can't wait to get this haircut, guys. It's a week tomorrow. Like, if I put my fringe in front of my eyes, like, it actually you see it's interfering with my tracking there. Sorry, give me a second. I heard something again. Just give me a second, guys. Hold on. Oh dear. I think I missed my meds a couple of nights. I had them this morning. Oops. Did Canis know about this contraption? Sorry. Yeah, I've been a bit paranoid recently. I missed my meds a couple of nights back, and I'm kind of building back onto them, but it's taking some getting used to. Let me tell you that. It's taking a bit of getting used to again. The moral of this story is do not miss your fucking meds, alright? Because it makes your brain go doolally tap. Even if he did, he wouldn't have been able to do much with it. And I highly doubt that he taught his dog to suspend bodies halfway down wells. Which means Canis isn't the killer. Interesting. Do we need to do some logic? I don't think we do. Okay. I did save first. Yeah, I just saved. This is teardown. This door appears to be locked.
Want me to open it? Can't guarantee anything, but I'll certainly give it a try.
No, if we deem it necessary, we will simply ask for the key.
Spot, that could have been my chance to shine.
You're free to shine somewhere else, but you'll not make an audience out of me. Try some logic? Yeah. Okay, let's do that. I think these two go together. Let's try it. Oh! Hey, hey! The apples in the basket were likely eaten by Azia.
Really? That's strange. I made sure to put the cart where a trunk couldn't reach them.
Are you sure about that?
Oh yeah, it was still full of apples the night before the show.
Then we must consider the possibility that the cart was moved to someone within Azia's reach. A large basket full of apples couldn't have been moved by the wind, which likely means somebody moved it for a reason. Aha! So before the show had even started, the cart had been moved and its apples eaten. Yes, that seems to be the most probable timeline. Let's update the recreation, Kay.
Will do. I'll add that into the simulation of the performance then. Let me just change that back to recreation first. Updating based on what Regina told us now. Yippee! There, all done.
Okay. Little wonder it smelled of animals, though. It was being used for the elephant.
Told us he has apples, right? Yep, it was full the day before the show.
So they vanished overnight.
Ooh, did you fix something out, Mr. Edgeworth?
Quite possibly. Yeah, I have an idea. I'm not confident these do go together, though. I'm going to try it anyway. Blop. Oh, they did go together. Nice. The basket was moved the night before the circus performance. And we've deduced that the weights were switched out for the body at around the same time.
Hard to chalk that as a coincidence, huh?
Then the next question we should be asking is, why was the cart moved? I think I can hazard a guess. The cart would have been blocking that door, which can only mean
that somebody needs to open it. Now, let's see what's... Oh, great, it's locked. Let me ask a guard for help. Hey, Mr. Guard!
Yes, miss, what can I do for you? You got a BRB, Dodds? No worries, no worries. Going to get some buffalo chicken wings, I hope. Yeah. Slathered in ranch sauce and cheesy dip. You know what? I actually, my wife's been really worried about me because I got some Doritos in. And she's like, when you go to get the Doritos, can you bring me some dip? And then she's just like, I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll get you some dip. And she's like, why do you keep on saying dip? Like dip. And I'm just like, what do you mean? You asked for Doritos with dip. Do you want extra dip? And I was like, no, I just want Doritos with dip. And it's like, why do you want dip? And then it turned out she wasn't aware of the fact that a number 6 comes with extra dip. So she learned something. That was kind of nice for her, you know? That was fast. Guard, where is the key for this door? Oh, the warden keeps hold of that. I'll go ask her for it. Warden LeGuard is the only one with a key. Wait, so the warden did it? Interesting. Meaning if somebody did open the door, they would have had to get it from her somehow.
Thanks for the help.
Look at all these breakers. They must control the electricity for the whole prison.
So we're thinking somebody got in here the night before the show, right? But why? What are they trying to do?
Well, I doubt they came here by mistake thinking it was a break room. They must have come to tamper with the switches.
Oh, did they turn off the power to something?
Come to think of it, wasn't there something that lost power? What might have lost power had a breaker been flipped? The metal detectors.
Take that!
Ah, yes, if this had lost power, there would have been serious trouble. Well, there would have been!
How would that work exactly?
Don't let your preconceptions hold you back, Kate. You need to think outside of the box. That's the key to coming up with ideas you've never imagined otherwise.
Nice try, Mr. Edgeworth, but this one's a little too far out of the box.
Ugh, that wasn't the answer. One of the pieces of evidence. Saw its bracelet wasn't working. Was it the bracelet? Oh, no, it's this. The security camera. I see. I tried the metal detector. And, like, actually, it's a correct answer from a technical standpoint, but it's not a correct answer from the standpoint of the game.
Take that!
There was a 3-hour gap in the security camera footage.
Oh, yeah. There was. So somebody flipped the breaker it was connected to.
It seems very likely.
Do you think it was the killer?
It's true that shutting off the cameras would have made things easier for them.
It would.
Which means the killer would have to be someone who had access to the breakers. And it seems only one person has the key. It couldn't be, could it?
Alright, little thief. Your work here is done.
Okay, nice. First on the scene, the early bird wins the worm. Good morning, Mr. Winner. What? You? How did you get here before me?
Good morning, Mr. Edgeworth. I see you've made an early start.
And I see you've made a late one, Judge Gavelle.
This is not my only case. I am a very busy woman.
Not all of us enjoy the freedom of a prosecutor relieved of his only current responsibility. Ugh.
Oh, I do apologise. I meant, of course, an associate attorney.
She looks at him as though, like, she thinks that he wants to rail her, but she doesn't realise he is massively gay for Phoenix Wright. Like, he is so gay for Phoenix Wright that he just looks at her, and he doesn't even see, like, that she's a woman. He just sees the hammer. He's like, he looks at Phoenix, and he's just like, oh, little baby. Oh, come to edgy, Phoenix, baby. And, I mean, I think, like, at this point, I'm just fully on board with Edgewright as, like, a canon ship. You know, there's no doubt in my mind that they're married. He looks at the hammer and goes, I could use that with Wright later. Yeah. Yes, that's right. That's right. Bite the pillow and scream objection whilst I present evidence, Feeny baby. Fucking hell. This is one of my most cursed streams ever, and I'm all for it. Associate, more like asinine. We'll see about that.
Eustace, let us begin the investigation of the yard.
Okay, I'll go get some officers to help.
Hold it!
That won't be necessary. Why not? We've already finished investigating the yard, and won quite the prize in the process. Won? But I'm supposed to be the winner. Your Honour. I'd like to revisit your theory from yesterday, in order to thoroughly disprove it. Here comes the bonk.
I would caution you to choose your words carefully, Mr. Edgeworth.
As I'm sure you remember, your badge is in my hands. How could I forget? You've told me several dozen times already. Perhaps you'd care to try a different threat? Oh.
You have been warned repeatedly, yes, and each time my words seem to have fallen on deaf ears. Allow me to make this crystal clear. The committee cannot and will not tolerate insubordination.
Objection!
The fate of my badge and the whims of the committee are of no concern to me now. The only thing that concerns me is proving Simeon Saint's innocence.
Interesting, and spoken like a true defense attorney. In that case, I shall be equally uncompromising. In the name of the goddess of justice. Bonk! I will strike down your case without mercy. And when I am done, your career as a prosecutor will be over as well. I hope you do not come to regret this. Da, 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 da. My theory remains the same as when I related it to you yesterday. Mr. Cerata did not see Mr. Knight's body when he passed through the tunnel. As such, the body could only have been dropped down the well during the show. We both know the only one who could have dropped the body down there during the show is Mr. Saint.
Okay. That's still your assertion, and you can prove it, of course.
Of course you can. Who do you think you're up against? What Eustace means to say is that we received the final autopsy report just ahead of our arrival.
She really is a very busy woman, busy looking after baby Winner.
The victim appears to have died the night before the body was discovered. In other words, the night before the show.
Ah! Why don't you object these nuts?
The cause of death is as stated. It seems the wound is 4 inches deep.
Damn! Bro got killed by a chode.
Simeon Saint was off stage for a period of 15 minutes.
We have an updated autopsy report. You're right. How did I miss that? I need more coffee. But it's too late in the day to have coffee. I won't sleep if I do that.
That was plenty of time for him to throw the victim's body down the well. Judge Gavell hasn't investigated the yard yet, which means...
There's one thing that troubled you about the stab wound. Go on.
I fear there may be something of a flaw with your theory, Your Honour. You seem very confident of that.
It's described as messy, but Canis is an assassin. Yeah.
You seem very confident of that, but do you have any evidence to prove it?
Yes, I think I just might. Okay.
Hold it!
He doesn't do messy. His job is to kill quickly and efficiently. Yeah, that's true. And being blind doesn't stop him either, so... That theory being that Mr. Saint was the killer, you're certainly clinging to it rather stubbornly.
And you are certainly clinging rather stubbornly to the idea that Mr. Saint wasn't the killer. Do you have any conclusive evidence that he wasn't? Any idea who the real killer might be?
I'd like to see what evidence you yourself have first.
I am an emissary of the goddess of justice. My words are her words. But her words are wasted on you, I see. You would challenge me if I said the sky was blue.
Is this a cult or a cult?
If you truly mean to refute the words of the divine, then come, show me your evidence.
Wait, come. Come! Oh my god, I understand now. Welcome, moon and star. Come to me through fire and war. Oh, oh, come Nerevar. Come and look upon the heart. Upon the heart. Oh, oh. Did you... Ara, you... I tried a Dagoth post and you think I'm... No! Oh, how could you? I'm Dagoth posting. You know what? I really... Like, if Bossy Moon does a meet and greet of Vexpo 2, which I really hope she does because she's neat, if I actually got into the meet and greet, the temptation just to do the Dagoth wave dance at her, and that's the whole meet and greet, is do the Dagoth wave dance and then just go. That's it. Imagine. That'd be so stupid. I mean, it'd be kind of funny, though. One of the guys who I'm mates with who I met at Vexpo, he did a full Wotegate for Mint Phantom. That was baller. His name's Alex the Human on Twitch. I think he might be Alex the Human 2 on Twitch. So, yeah, go give him a follow. He's neat. He does a lot of content about, like, Wotegate, which is the, you know, the glow stick dance that guys do at idol concerts. It's that stuff. Like, he learns that sort of stuff. And he did a performance for Mint, and it was, in and of itself, Mint. You'd love to see it. Okay.
Hold it!
Hold it! Isn't it possible that Mr. Cerata simply failed to notice the body? Assistant to the Associate Attorney, you have been through the secret passage, have you not? Oh, how do you know? I noticed mud on you yesterday, on that charming key in your hair, to be precise.
That's incredible. You could be a great thief with eyes like that.
Answer me truthfully in the name of the goddess. Would you, or would you have not noticed a body had one been present?
Well, you know, I guess I would have.
There you have it. Mr. Cerata did not see a body, which means there was nobody there to see. Okay.
Hold it!
He didn't unredeem. I could work on that. I could work on that. Yeah, the Reggies do make kind of weird noises, don't they? Like, have you ever thought, like, what would happen if the Reggies had an orgy? What would that sound like? Like, imagine if the Reggies are just there. They're just, like, absolutely impregnating the living fuck out of each other. Like, how would that sound? What would that sound like? It would suck so much. Heart's not having any of my bullshit. You know what? I respect the honesty. Fucking hell, Ara. Oh, no. So, here's a question for you. When a Reggie, like, blows its load, does it... Nut. Oh, God. Okay. Could you talk us through your reasoning on that a little more? The day before the performance, Mr. Knight borrowed the keys from Mr. Cerata, or more specifically, the keys to his cell. Mr. Knight then used the key to leave his cell and into Mr. Saint's cage. Mr. Saint took Knight to the yard in that cage, and that's where he killed him. The following day, Mr. Cerata crawled his way through the tunnel, but there was no body there yet.
Wait a second, that doesn't add up.
Mr. Cerata smelled that sweet smell, so Mr. Knight must have been in the tunnel already. No, his body did not pass through the tunnel until sometime after Mr. Cerata crawled through it. I understand. It's because he's suspended. Mr. Cerata used the tunnel right around the time the show was starting. The body was discovered just after the performance ended, from which you deduce that the body could only have been thrown down the well during the show. Yes, and who the culprit must be. Okay. Okay. I think it's this statement. Let's try it. Oh, crunchy knuckles. I'm sorry. Yeah, there we go. Right. The weights were replaced with the victim's body by someone. Okay. Okay. Used during the show to send Saint flying. The weights were replaced with the victim's body by someone. Okay. This is tough.
Hold it!
Are you sure about that? Could nobody else have done it? I understand that Miss Berry was on stage for the entire performance. Most of the prisoners were watching the show, and those who were not have plausible alibis. What about the guards? They too were watching the show, as was the warden. How can you be so sure? A guard could have easily approached the well unnoticed. None of the guards left their post during the show. I have checked this for myself, you know. I took statements from each and every one of them. She's thorough. I'll give her that. Are you finally ready to accept the truth? That the killer could only have been Simeon Saint? Judge Gavelle hasn't carried out a full investigation of the yard yet.
Which means we got the advantage for a change.
I shall review the evidence we gathered during our investigation of the yard. That's the only clue we're going to get her. Okay. So, investigation of the yard. Mr. Saint's trick. The breakers. Those are the only bits of evidence we got from the yard, aren't they? The trick and the breakers. This one's actually kind of tricky, right? This one's kind of tricky. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. He didn't see Mr. Knight's body when he passed through the tunnel. You'd argue the breakers don't make sense? Well, kind of. The body could only have been dropped down the well during the show. See, the body could only have been dropped down the well during the show, but the thing is, we know that the trick suspends it. I think it's the trick on this one. I'm going to try it.
Objection!
It's actually not. Would you mind taking a look at this, Judge Gavelle? Am I expected to accept this as evidence? It appears to have no connection to my testimony. Ouch. Okay. Hey, Zach, how you doing? It's all going good for me. How about for you? Okay. I'm correct on the evidence to present. It's just the, it's the statement. Okay. Mr. Cerata didn't see Mr. Knight's body when he passed through the tunnel. I think it's this statement, then.
Objection!
What? How's that not right? The body gets fucking suspended. The body gets suspended. He wouldn't have seen it because it's up in the air. That doesn't make any sense. What? So I need to present this. We know that this suspends the weights and then it drops them down when the rope is pulled. So Cerata couldn't have seen it because he was like hanging halfway down a well. He wouldn't have looked up. The other two statements, like the only other statement it could be on is the last one, but that doesn't make. I can't reason that.
Objection!
What? How does that make any sense? What? Huh? This makes no sense compared to the other two. What? Alright. Fair enough. Sorry, Your Honor, but there's something else you're going to have to take into account. The well in the yard was rigged up to create a certain unique contraption. A contraption? Go on. You will recall that Mr. Saint was sent flying from the stage by an elephant. I do, just before he was to be absent for some time. He was only able to fly through the air thanks to a weighted rope he tied around himself. Dropping the weighted end down the well allowed him to complete the trick.
Objection!
Wait, wouldn't that send him flying as soon as he set foot on the stage?
Hold it!
It's simple, really. He kept the weight from falling by using a stake to keep the rope in place. With the second rope, he was able to pull the stake free, thereby controlling when the weight was dropped. We have found evidence to suggest the original weight was replaced with Knight's body. This was done by the real killer, in order to create an alibi. Oh. The estimated time of death tells us the murder took place early in the morning. The killer could have tampered with the contraption in the time between the murder and the show.
Objection!
You're saying Mr. Saint himself set this contraption up, right? Well then, who do you think is the #1 most likely person to have used it to dispose of a body, hmm? Even you must see how this looks.
Objection!
If Mr. Saint was the killer, he could have simply done as Judge Gavelle theorized without those extra steps. Miss Berry. Yes? Does anyone else know how Mr. Saint's trick works? Well, let's see. We had to get the prison's approval on what we were going to perform, so I don't think Simon's the only one who knows. And there you have it.
Overruled.
Oh, she's angry. Interesting. You have certainly been diligent in your investigation. Excuse me a moment. Oh, nuclear fart. And yet, I fail to comprehend your actions still. Why do you not work to do what is right? Is what I am doing wrong? If so, who is it that it deems it so? How can you not grasp even that? How can you see that you are doing wrong at this very moment? You are a prosecutor, and yet you aid the defense. This flies in the face of common sense. You are breaking every rule in the book. I think only of what is right and just, and I act as I see fit in each situation I'm confronted with. This is the path I have chosen, and whether you can comprehend that choice is immaterial. But if you mean to stand in my way, I will fight back with all I can bring to bear.
Perhaps the goddess of justice is testing me. Very well. If it is her will that we must fight,
Bonk!
then I shall end this once and for all. Listen well, Mr. Edgeworth, for there is another reason why only Mr. Saint can be the killer.
You doing pretty well? Nice. Edgy's got resolve. Fuck yeah.
If the body was moved from the yard to the workshop, then Mr. Knight must have first been brought here to the yard from his cell. The only person who had the opportunity to do that is Simeon Saint, and thus he remains the only plausible suspect. Mr. Saint took a cage with him to Mr. Knight's cell, but why would he do that? Why take such an unwieldy object all the way to the holding cells? Yeah, it is pretty sus.
But we've all met Mr. Saint. That's exactly the kind of thing he would do. It's entirely plausible that he took the cage with him out of absent-mindedness and nothing else.
It may be plausible, but it is no more or less plausible than him having helped Mr. Knight to escape.
You suppose her name makes sense, but her fandom name was Courtney? Yeah, I heard about that. I mean, you know, I do feel like Gavel could gavel me. Like, I wouldn't complain all that much. You know, she just gets out the gavel and just donk. And I'm just like, yes, I accept your judgment. Please judge me again. Donk. And then she starts winding up because it turns out she's actually a hammer bro. And then she winds up her biggest donk. And all the local hammer bros start winding up their biggest donks. Because hammer bros share the same brain cell, right? And this is not a criticism of hammer bros. I love you guys. You all share the same brain cell. You know this. I know this. I see you. I appreciate you. You gotta go, Hades? Yeah, no worries. You take care, all right? Enjoy the rest of your day, and don't forget to think about that Reggie orgy that we mentioned. I'll see if I can get a redeem set up for it. Need to show some solid evidence if I'm going to get out of budge. So, solid evidence, huh? What do we got? Chas is just texting the ether. Okay. I mean, yeah, her accusations actually do make a lot of sense.
Hold it!
You seem to think that Mr. Knight was killed here in the yard. When do you think he was brought here?
Sometime between midnight and 8 AM the day of the show. It could only have been during that time.
In other words, between the end of rehearsal and the start of the performance.
As I was saying, if the body was moved from the yard to the workshop...
Hold it!
Okay. Was there really no other way he could have come here?
Mr. Knight was awaiting trial. If he, a random non-inmate, had openly entered the prison proper, he surely would have been noticed.
And presumably, none of your witnesses have testified to having seen such a thing.
Precisely. Praise be to the goddess of justice for granting you this insight. So, as you will agree, it can only be that Mr. Knight was brought over here in secret.
Okay. Interesting.
Hold it!
You're certain nobody else had the opportunity?
Need I remind you that we are in a prison? The entire facility is monitored at all times. Anything out of the ordinary would have been spotted.
Hold it!
The cameras went off, but Mr. Saint was under that same scrutiny, was he not?
Overruled!
The warden had granted the members of the circus troupe special access. As a member of that troupe, under the supervision of Miss Berry, he is the only person who is free to wander where he willed.
Objection!
Interesting. It seems you've forgotten something, Your Honour.
Overruled!
Forget is not a word in my vocabulary, Mr. Edgeworth.
Very well then. I recall this fact, if you will. You claim that Mr. Saint is the only person who's free to walk around the prison. But there was a brief period of time on the day of the crime in this prison. A time when it would have been possible for anyone to move through the prison entirely unmonitored. Okay. It's the security footage, isn't it?
Take that!
Mr. Saint is far from the only one who had the opportunity. No, which opportunity are we talking about again? We'd previously established that the time code on the security footage was off by 3 hours. And from this, we can deduce that there must have been a power outage lasting for that length of time, during which anyone could have moved around the prison undetected.
Do you mean to say that our killer intentionally created this 3-hour gap? That it was no simple camera malfunction? Is that even possible?
It was completely possible to create the 3-hour gap using this. It's the Warden. The Warden's the killer.
Take that!
Our investigation of the yard turned up something rather interesting. A panel of breakers, one of which can be used to cut the power to the security cameras. You thought the special attention was part of the points of prison? I mean, it's the pointy part of prison, I'll give you that. We also learned that the door to the power room may have been opened at around the time of the murder. What?
Such a shame. To see one so capable fall so short of the mark. Mr. Edgeworth knows what he's doing. Ha ha ha. Then how does he explain the lock on the power room door?
Oh yeah, it was kind of locked up tight.
And the warden's the only one with the key. Those breakers are vital to the prison's infrastructure, so I very much doubt that anyone could have gained access to the power room's key so easily.
Objection!
No, but one person could have.
I beg your pardon?
That person, the killer, had easy access to it, in fact. And what's more, their position here is such that nobody would dare question them.
Objection!
This seems kind of baller.
What? There's no one like that. The breaker to the electric fence is in there. They will be questioned in an instant.
There's only one person who meets these criteria. I can hardly believe it myself, but I have to follow where the logic leads. The person who had access to the power room key was... the Warden.
Take that!
The real culprit is... Warden Laguard. Oh, just look at you, aren't you? The cutest little poochie boo. He's not just a pretty face. Missile also has quite the nose for sweet things. It seems he's smelling something very sweet indeed, and it's coming from you. Oh, darling, you're making me blush. I'm not even wearing perfume. Then perhaps it is the sweet stench of death. You're a regular poet, aren't you? I had no idea. But if I didn't know that, I'd almost think you were calling moi the killer. That is precisely what I'm calling you. What?
Warden Laguard is the killer? Mr. Edgeworth, do you realise what you're saying?
Oh, such a naughty boy! How could he suspect me? I'm the one in charge around here. What a thing to make me say. Such a naughty boy! I've clipped that just so I can send it to, like, one of my mates, because I think he'll get a kick out of that. It's like we're in a murder mystery, aren't we?
And equally far-fetched. This is preposterous.
Hold it!
Sadly, it is not, although I can hardly believe it myself. But this is where the evidence points, and we must trust in the evidence. This piece of evidence proves that Warden Laguard is the killer. Okay. Okay, what do we think? Prisoners are not allowed to move about freely. The breakers? Because she's the only one who can get in there, realistically. But then there's a sweet scent on the guy's body. Huh. Winner, Gavel and the Warden searched the prison for the murderer, but couldn't find anything. Could it be the search? The body? I'm going to try the body first.
Take that!
Your scent betrays you, Warden. It was the body. Nice. And here's your accuser.
The police dog.
We had him track a sweet scent that was lingering around Knight's body back when it was first found. He now appears to be smelling the same scent, and it's coming from you. Oh, darling, you're priceless, the real you are. Your evidence is a whiff of suspicion. Verity, dear, do put him in his place. It seems Judge Gavell may have reached a similar conclusion to myself.
You believe this to be no mere coincidence, Mr. Edgeworth?
I do, after all, she had the key, and the scent found lingering on the body is hers as well. Were it just one or the other, we might be able to brush it off as coincidence, however.
Indeed, then it seems a conclusion approaches. Perhaps we should hear what the Warden has to say for herself.
We should, and when we have, this case will finally be at an end.
You're all being simply awful. Stop looking at me like that. Me, the killer?
How could I possibly do such a thing? Okay. I didn't do it.
Verity told me everything she knows about the case, sweetie. The victim died in his cell, so by all logic I would have had to have killed him there. But how am I supposed to have moved the body, especially as I never went into the prison? I was too busy with work, you see. I was cooped up in my office until right before the show began. Check if you like. You won't find a record anywhere of my having entered or left the prison proper. I haven't the first idea what harebrained theories you little scamps have cooked up, but I'm innocent. There's simply no way I could be the killer. Give me a break. This I didn't like. Don't make it hard and everyone just come clean. Oh dear, I'm afraid you are the one making things difficult. As I just said, I never went into the prison. If you think I'm lying, go and check the records. She clearly wants us to check those records, which means they won't help us. We'll just have to find another way of getting the truth out of her. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, stop being a big silly. You have made a boo-boo and you know it. She talks really fucking weird. Alright. Verity... Oh, we're already going through this, okay. Okay. How am I supposed to have moved the body?
Hold it!
Press on this one? Do you have any evidence that you didn't enter the prison? Please, darling, let me finish. Oh, okay.
Hold it!
Okay. So you were in your office the whole time. You didn't notice anything unusual? No, I can't say that I did. And you didn't notice anything missing? I must confess, I'm a rather messy girl. And a forgetful one at that. I put something down and it's lost forever. It's a curse, darling, a curse. I even lost some important evidence recently. It was gone, poof, just like that. What? And she still has a job? Honestly, if somebody came into my house and took something, it might be years before I noticed. It seems like I'll need more than the power room key to expose her. Isn't it suspicious that all the villains have British accents? Most of my villains have French accents. Most of my villains have French accents because the French are the true villains. And I know that, like, I'm pretty confident that Ara's not going to throw things at me for saying that because it's true. On the day of the murder, I was working in my office. Oh, and looking for something I'd misplaced. Even if I'd had a reason to go into the prison, I simply wouldn't have had the time. Okay. You wouldn't have had the time. That seemed to give us a little bling. You wouldn't have had the time. This was actually recorded around 9 AM. What are we thinking? It's the Latin blood mixed with all the Gaulish savagery. You know what? That's fair. I don't have a rebuttal there. The victim's body was not found at the time of the 7 AM roll call. So he's missing at the 7 AM roll call. Surely she would have been made aware of that. Not confident on what it's going to be on this one.
Hold it!
Sure, maybe you didn't go through the main entrance to the prison, but what if you took another route? Oh, come now, sweetie. Surely you don't mean that awful, filthy tunnel they discovered. Why, until yesterday, I had no idea it even existed. No, you had another way in. I'm certain of it. A route that didn't require going through the main entrance or the tunnel. The route you took went through this location. Hold on. A route that didn't go through the main entrance or the tunnel. The well? A route that doesn't involve going through the main entrance or the tunnel? Because this is the main entrance here. So I guess it's like here, isn't it? Right?
Take that!
This is the route you took to get into the prison. It is, darling, and how would that have worked? Didn't you say yourself that I didn't choose the entrance or the tunnel? So the door from her office into the yard is not correct. The only time Knight's body could have been placed in the well was the night before the show. Also, our move, sir. She seemed awful sure of herself. She's pretty confident there won't be any record of her entering the prison. In which case, we'll have to rely on something other than the records in question. We should listen carefully to her statements again and ask a few pertinent questions. I'm sure... Right? I'm sure it's this one. And I'm sure she's gone through where the electric fence is. Because that's the only route that goes... that by... Look at this. Look, 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 look. Let me show you what I mean. Right? Look. There's a door from her office that goes into here, and this then goes into the yard, right? So she could easily have just gone through here. But apparently that's not right. I don't get it.
Hold it!
Let's try it again. If it's not this, then I do not know.
Take that!
That's what I fucking said the first time! What? I said this the first time and it was wrong. But now it's right. Game, makes sense, please. Oh my god. Warden, you took Knight from his cell and brought him into your office, which just happened to be connected to the yard. If you had a way through the fence, then you would have been able to circumvent both the entrance and the tunnel. Woohoo! A gold star for creativity, darling. How would I have gotten through the fence? Hmm? Give me a second. Give me a second. Sorry guys, Daddy is very paranoid, yes. It was wrong before it was right. Doesn't matter what's wrong or right, I like to eat cheese all night. Simpsons Christmas Boogie. The extremely high fence, topped with a razor wire with thousands of volts of electricity going through it. Yeah, how's she supposed to have gotten through that, hmm? The fence's electricity supply can be cut off from the power room, and only you had the key, Warden. No one but you could have done it. Utterly ridiculous. The power room is on the prison side of the yard. Warden Lagarde is on the detention center side. How would she have even reached the power room? Exactly, Verity, darling. Well, Cloverpuss, you've dug yourself a real hole now. Oh, I... If there is no record of Warden Lagarde having entered the prison proper, then the idea that she could have shut off the fence by using the breaker is out of the question. Ugh. There must have been some way she could have done it. Take a deep breath, big guy. Lose your cool and you've lost everything. But don't find a solution. She might still wriggle out of this. Hey, I said take a deep breath, not freak out and completely lose your cool. There's nothing to be gained by banging your head against the same wall, yeah? No matter how you look at it, Warden Lagarde couldn't have done it alone. Hmm?
Objection!
Oh, what's going on?
You aren't doing yourself any favours by obstructing justice with your silence.
That was a reflexive objection. But now that I've yelled it, if I don't come up with an answer, it's all over. Right, I save the game then. I prepare to scum. They better not be put in like an instant loss conditioning, because those are always bullshit. They never make sense. I have one more thing to add, if you'll permit me. Something that explains how the warden could have shut off the breaker from the wrong side of the fence. Yes, because it's not as impossible as it seems. What's enabled her to shut off the breaker? Her position, an accomplice, or the time of the murder? Interesting. These are all on. Okay. So, I think it's an accomplice. She couldn't have done this alone. But what if she wasn't alone?
Oh, now we're talking. Way to flex your grey matter, kiddo.
I believe that Warden LeGuard had an accomplice.
Enough. You disappoint me, Mr. Edgeworth.
What do you mean? Mr. Edgeworth has said nothing wrong.
The inmates of this prison are all issued with security bracelets. The ones that raise the alarms if people go where they're not supposed to.
Oh! Yeah, one of them's broken.
I see that you have realised your error, and we are, of course, within the prison grounds, where not only are the bracelets worn, but even the guards surveil each other for signs of wrongdoing.
And despite all that, no one noticed Mr. Cerata's escape?
The only ones who are free to roam are the animals,
and they most certainly could not have operated the breaker. No, so our accomplice must be human.
Then who did it, given that it cannot have been a prisoner or a guard?
Objection!
I wouldn't be so quick to rule out either, Your Honour. The fact is, there is one person, someone whose movements weren't restricted, and I have just the evidence to show who that free-roaming person was. Sorry, Mr. Sawyer.
Take that!
This is one of the prisoner's bracelets.
Indeed, a broken bracelet belonging to a certain self-proclaimed model prisoner.
What do you mean? And who is this prisoner?
Frank Sawyer, Warden LeGuard's favourite inmate. Uh-oh. It's strange, isn't it, Warden? That he was able to keep his broken bracelet hidden and wander freely around the prison all the while.
That is pretty funky, and I mean in a good way.
It couldn't be the case he was permitted some sort of special leeway, could it?
Although you are in the habit of giving such leeway to certain others. Bodhidharma Canis, for example? Mr. Edgeworth, that is pure speculation.
Objection!
Ha! In that case, why don't we ask Mr. Sawyer himself? I'm confident he will confirm for us that he and Warden LeGuard were accomplices in this crime. If the two of them had worked together, a certain route into the prison becomes viable. The real route by which Knight was moved from his cell to the prison proper. Recall that there were two big obstacles in her path. First, the security camera outside Knight's cell. Second, the electrified fence in the yard. But she was able to remove both obstacles in one fell swoop, by having Mr. Sawyer shut off the corresponding breakers. All right, Mr. Edgeworth, you've had your fun. And, do you still deny it, Warden LeGuard? No, darling, you've got me, I admit it.
Warden, tell me this isn't true.
Sorry, Verity, honey, I'm afraid it is. Frankie helped me do it.
No way.
Swooping, yes.
You did it, Mr. Edgeworth, you got her. Nice shooting, cowboy. She won't be wriggling out of this now.
As Mr. Edgeworth said, I had Frankie switch off the breaker. But we didn't kill Knight, did we? No, sweetums, no, we didn't. What?
Warden, explain yourself.
Oh, Verity, dear, I doubt your precious goddess will want to hear my excuses now.
She is all merciful. You have but to confess and you shall be saved.
Oh gosh, all right, I was being threatened. I had no choice but to do as he said.
Who's he?
Bodhidharma Canis, that awful assassin. Canis? How long has it been since that awful man came here to my beautiful prison? I'll never forget the day he arrived. The moment we were alone, he said this to me.
You should know that I have other dogs. Dogs not confined to this fine institution.
Others?
Yes, very loyal dogs. Dogs who will do anything I ask of them.
Of course, he wasn't talking about real dogs. He was talking about his very human cronies. And then he said one last thing.
I would recommend that you take care in how you treat me during my stay here. I wouldn't want to have to set my dogs on you, or your precious family.
I had no choice. I gave him that cell. I gave him everything he asked for. Everything. Wait, is that how he became the fixer? Yes, darling, I obeyed his every command and smuggled in for him all that he wanted. Eventually, I brought dear sweet Frankie into our little conspiracy. Probably furries. Uh-oh. Oh no. He agreed right away, of course, because I made things easier for him too. So you were smuggling in contraband. How exactly? Inside a coat. Once a week, late at night, Frankie would shut off the breakers. That allowed me to go from my office into the yard without being seen by the cameras. Then I simply dropped the packages down the well on the prison side and went back through the fence. Each one of them spritzed with a little of my perfume. So that's what the sweet smell was. Yes, it was a signal for Canis' dog. When he picked up the scent, he would fetch the packages and bring them back to his master. We had to make sure Rocco wasn't in his cell at the time, of course. Can't have been easy keeping him from finding out. Oh, we're all very much creatures of habit here at the prison, darling. Everything runs to a schedule. Meals, exercise hours, that sort of thing. We knew when he wasn't there. And that adorable bear of his freezes with fright at the sight of Canis' dog, poor thing. So there was no risk of him raising the alarm either. She has oversight over everything here at the prison, which made her the perfect mule. With her on his side, Canis couldn't fail. Frankie would sneak out again early in the morning to switch the breakers back on, and our work was done. Apart from fixing the time codes on the cameras, which I would do later when I got the chance. You have shared a great deal, Warden. The goddess of justice will surely take your honesty into account. I've been the most dreadful fool, I know I have. I'm supposed to be the one in charge. The day of Knight's murder was also one of our delivery days. And so, Frankie, bless his heart, did his usual work with the breakers. But there was no package for me to deliver that day, so I didn't go out into the yard. So that's the secret behind the fixer's system, and why she was... The police have been trying to track down his accomplices for the longest time. Even I've had to lend them a hand myself, you know. Heaven knows how many times I've hauled the secretive scoundrel into my office to talk to me. But no matter what I say or how much evidence I present him with, he simply won't say a word. That's why you were interrogating Mr. Canis over and over. Exactly. I was trying to track down those horrible hench people of his. I borrowed everything the police had on that rotten scoundrel. I watched his every move, intercepted every letter he wrote. His letters? Then I suppose she must know about his correspondence chess game too. But no matter what I did, I couldn't turn up any clues as to who his underlings were. Living in fear like this, it's... Oh, we just can't comprehend it. Donk. As you have just heard for yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The words of Warden Laguarde's confessions have cleansed her of all suspicion. Surely there is no need to hound her any longer? Has she really been cleared of all suspicion, though? Or is there more about her to uncover? There's definitely more. I'm sorry, Your Honour, but this conversation isn't over yet. And I think the Goddess of Justice would agree. So you mean to make her suffer even more than she already has? Unfortunately, her suffering under Mr. Canis does nothing to prove her innocence in Knight's murder. She admitted herself that she knew of and even facilitated the so-called Fixer's delivery route. I believe she used that same route to move Knight's body. And where is your evidence, Mr. Edgeworth? It's in the fact that the sweet smell on Knight's body is the exact same scent Warden Laguarde uses to signal a delivery. What do you make of that? Well, that's because we've done it so many times by now that the whole world probably smells of it. Some of it must have just rubbed off on his body. That does match the statement Mr. Cerata provided.
A smell. Yeah, always smell kind of nice down there.
Nice.
Gee, I don't know. Smells sort of like dessert, I guess.
His words would seem to suggest the smell had permeated the well.
Oh,
You've been rendered speechless, I see. Then I hereby move to adjourn this session of the court.
no. What do we do, Mr. Edgeworth? What can I do? Is this as far as we go?
Finally, so we're actually done? Yes, Eustace, it seems we are. By the power vested in me, this court is adjourned. Objection.
No, hold it.
Oh, who's saying hold it? Is it...
Who was that?
Fender?
Yeah! Come on, Judge G. Things were just getting good.
Fender? Are you objecting to my adjourning this session?
Ha! No, no, no. Would have shouted objection if I wanted to do that. You do you, G. Adjoin, don't adjoin, whatever floats your boat. What are you doing, Mr. Fender? Don't worry about what I'm doing. Let's all just take a chill pill, shall we? By which I mean a square of chocolatey goodness. Anyone?
Are you trying to get yourself charged with contempt of court?
No, no, my bad. I just had a quick request to make is all. A Simeon Saint's lawyer, that is.
Ah, yes. I had forgotten that you were his real attorney, Mr. Fender.
How could you? You're killing me here. You blame us. You've been making Mr. Edgeworth do everything this whole time. Right you are, which is why I figured it's time to put in some work.
Work, you say? Somehow, I don't believe you've worked a day in your life.
Then let's say this is me doing some prep work for the upcoming trial. Mind if I question the witness?
No? Amusing, but what is there left to ask?
I've got a feeling in my funny bone that Thief's here has something more to tell about the killer.
Do I?
Yeah, indeed. See, as a major player on Team Simeon, I can spot a sympathizer when I see one. And you don't think he did it, did you? So tell us, who did? Come on, spill the beans. We're all ears. Mr. Edgeworth, what's he doing?
He's trying to coax Warden LeGuard to giving something away. Ask yourself, why would she go to all the trouble of sending Knight's body on such an odd journey? It's because she wanted to frame Mr. Canis.
She did? No way.
If he was convicted of committing murder here, that could have been grounds for transfer to another prison. Most likely a more secure facility.
And where he'd be out of her hair forever, huh?
Precisely. She saw her opportunity and seized it. No, Saint can't not be the killer. That's not fair. I was all ready to prosecute him.
I know, right? But maybe we should find out what she thinks first. Don't want to get the wrong guy, yeah? Ah, nice. Now Mr. Wynne has to go along with it too.
Well, Warden, are you happy to testify further? Of course. How could I refuse this silver-tongued devil? Eddykins, you have such a way with words.
Just doing my job, thief.
Besides, one can't tell the truth without telling the whole truth, can one? I'm simply dying to tell all verity, darling. Do say you'll let me.
As you wish. Court is unadjourned.
I can't believe you pulled that off, Mr. Fender.
Ooh, me either.
Thank you for the timely intervention.
Hey, it's the least I could do. Kay's not wrong. I've been leaning on you hard. And besides, the defense never rests. Am I right? Simon's depending on us.
Sadly, I think I just about exhausted my resource of cool lawyer chat there.
We can't foul this up now. Which means you're up to bat, Miles McSmiles.
What? That's an amazing bit of text.
Show him that never rest spirit.
I shall.
Fabulous, then let's get started.
Miles McSmiles. Oh my god.
I really don't think anyone could have done it but that dreadful man Canis.
There's no telling what went on between him and the victim.
Yes, there fucking is. Perhaps he simply took a disliking to him. He's certainly the type. But whatever the sordid details, it was him. He stabbed that poor man to death. And then he had his dog dispose of the body. That simply has to be what happened. I think what Hades mentioned earlier is relevant now. The victim, Mr. Knight, yes. I did him the most terrible disservice.
Yes, you killed him.
I suppose you could put it that way.
If I weren't such a sorry excuse for the warden, this would never have happened. And that's why I have to clean up this terrible mess. Warden LeGuard, as ever, your honesty is truly to your credit. I am certain Mr. Knight is looking down and weeping tears of gratitude. You've clearly never met Mr. Knight. I think I've got her already. There's no telling what went on between him and the victim. Actually, there is. They played chess together. So I'm going to immediately play that. I'm going straight for the fucking throat, mate.
Objection!
What? There's no telling what went on between them. They were playing chess against each other. There was every telling what was going on between them. Why is this game so inconsistent? Like, sometimes the evidence just makes sense, and other times it's like, the thing that makes the most sense is completely ass wrong. Maybe we're going to have to do some, He stabbed that poor man to death? I think we're going to have to do some pressing then, because I'm certain that we've got the right thing, but the game says no.
Hold it!
You seem very confident in your assertion. Why is that? Because all the other children in my little home are absolute sweethearts. They have faith in themselves and in one another. They have faith in the guards, in me. And they work hard every day to better themselves. None of them would dare commit murder. That's a very touching reason indeed, and I don't believe a word of it. But Canis, oh, he's rotten to the core. He's the only one who'd do something like that. I'm doing it outside of its expected order. Oh, for God's sake. It's not one of those ones where I have to press a specific statement and then go back to a different one to present the sensible evidence on. Oh, I hate it when these games do that. Knight was being kept in a holding cell while Mr. Canis was in the prison proper. What could possibly have happened between them when they were at opposite ends of the facility? Hey, Hades, how you doing? Prisons aren't as big as they seem, you know. All kinds of awful things can happen. But Knight only arrived 2 days before he was murdered. I can't imagine anything significant happening in that short space of time. Then you don't know Canis, my dear. He'll find a way, I'm sure of it.
Hold it!
Okay. How could he take a disliking to somebody all the way over in the holding cells? Oh, I'm just plucking possibilities out of the air, darling. As I said, there's no telling what really went on between them. You're so awfully serious, aren't you? Not that I mind, of course. Why is she looking at me like that? So noble, so dashing in that marvellous suit, so clever! I can feel myself becoming your biggest fan, darling. I really can.
Stay with me, Mr. Edgeworth.
Ugh, I wasn't prepared for that mental onslaught.
Hold it!
Okay. What more can you tell us about those sordid details? Well, we all know what Canis once did for a living. I doubt the killing part gave him much trouble. Especially as the victim was already injured. His neck, I think? Couldn't turn his head to the right, poor dear. That's what they told me when they brought him in anyway. They must make some sort of report for the warden when new prisoners are admitted. You seem keen for us to think you didn't know much about Knight. That's because I didn't, sweetie, and the victim was simply a fun target to that monster, nothing more. I expect Canis used the chisel that was in that chess set, don't you? Awful grisly business. Just imagine, the man probably didn't even have time to cry out. I see. Thank you for your thoughts. They were very helpful. Actually, I'd like to hear about them in a little more detail, if you don't mind. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, you're making me blush. I could chat with you all day. Oh, don't look so nervous, darling. I'm only teasing. Of course, we can talk about them some more. Okay. I expected that Canis used the chisel that was hidden in the chess set. So, actually, the chisel is where we're going to have to do something on. So, I still think that my thought was on point, but the game's just like, no. Sometimes these games are, like, sensible with the logic. Sometimes they're very weird. The chisel in the chess set, huh? Knights hid a chisel in here to prevent it from being found by the prison staff. But hang on. Who brought him the chess set? Simeon Saint. Hold on. I'm going to save there because I'm now no longer confident that, like, the logical thoughts that take me to answers are right. This one.
Objection!
Oh, it is that one. Okay. Warden LaGuard, you strike me as being more careful than the image you project suggests. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, please, call me Fifi or Sweetie Pie if you prefer. I won't do that. However, I think you have been a little less careful than you realise in this instance. Tee-hee, aren't you just the most adorable little creature? Don't be embarrassed, we're all family here.
Ooh. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth, don't let it get inside your head.
You said earlier that you didn't know much about Knight. In which case, I find it rather strange that you know about the chisel. Well, of course I do, darling. Do you think we don't check prisoners when they come in?
Objection!
He didn't have that when he came in. You're not talking out of this one. That is entirely irrelevant, and you know it. Knight didn't bring the chess set into the prison himself. It was brought by Mr. Saint when he came to visit. Knight wouldn't have had it with him when he arrived. What? I mean, of course, when Mr. Saint came in, we...
Objection!
You checked him. I find that hard to believe, because if you did, that makes your story all the stranger. If you found the chisel, why did you not confiscate it there and then? Ah! Judge Givell, did you tell anyone about the hidden compartment in the chess set? I did not. If no one leaked our findings, then how exactly did you learn about the chisel, Warden Leguard? Because it certainly couldn't have been when you checked Mr. Knight or Mr. Saint on their arrival. Indeed, such a thing would imply an intentional oversight if it had been found, yet let through. Precisely. So, Warden Leguard, answer truthfully this time. Where and when did you learn about the chess set? If you won't answer, then allow me. I submit... Oh? Alright, darling, there's no need to rub it in. You got me alright. I questioned Knight. That was when I learned about the chess set. But please, you have to believe me. I did not kill him. One moment, Warden. This is a significant development. The court requests that you make a detailed statement on the record. Any objections, Mr. Edgeworth? None, Your Honour. Thank you, darlings. I'll clear up this awful misunderstanding, I promise. Very well. Go ahead, Warden Leguard, and please, tell the truth this time. Her lies are starting to wear thin. This is my chance to expose her. Okay. I said I questioned Knight, but it wasn't anything serious, you understand. I make a point of talking to every newcomer to our little home. Knight was no different. We just had a little chat, you might call it. And after we talked, I had him taken back to his cell straight away. Okay. The more she lies, the more thoroughly she seals her fate. So it was simply a conversation with a new detainee. That seems entirely above board. Exactly, Verity, darling. I knew you'd understand.
Objection!
Oh. Well, I don't. What proof do you have to back up your statement? I suppose we shall see, won't we? Mr. Edgeworth, you may begin your cross-examination. Okay. Is this the latter part? Yeah, this is the latter part, so we've almost got her. I think this must be the last one. Okay. Okay.
Hold it!
Time for more pressing. Mating pressing. Alright, fair enough. So am I right in assuming that you talked to Knight the night before the show? Exactly, darling. It would have been around 3 AM on the 27th. 3 AM, the full squarely within the window of time laid out in the autopsy report. That seems rather late for a friendly chat. Wouldn't he have been asleep? Normally, yes, but if you remember, a guard was attacked in his cell. We had to examine the scene of the crime and gather information. These things take time, sweetie. I assure you, he was wide awake. We all were. Regardless, I find it somewhat odd that you would choose to question him at such a late hour. Ooh, you're such a tease, aren't you? Ooh. Anyway, no matter how odd you think it is, I had him brought to me, and that's what happened. Must you really insist on questioning every last thing I say? Sorry, Face, he's like a dog with a bone sometimes. I'll be sure to scold him once we're done. Though, would you mind giving us a little more info? Like where you had him brought to? My office, of course. Where else? Her office, which is where we believe the body was moved from. Would you mind appending what you just said to your testimony? Tee-hee, anything for you, darling. Had them bring him to my office. Okay. I think we need to present the autopsy report. Let's do it. Let's present the autopsy report. This is going to be baller.
Objection!
Oh, you fuck! You motherfucker! It's not the fucking autopsy report. Ah, I'm cross now. Okay. I'm scumming that because, like, I'm cross about the fact that it's not the autopsy report. Remind me where your office is? You've seen the sign in the detention center corridor, I imagine. The one that says no entry. That's it, sweetie. My office is just up in there. A short walk from the holding cells. I understand that you also have access to the yard. Why, of course. That's where my gorgeous little garden is. Oh, I see where you're going with this. You're saying that's how I moved the body. You had the means and the opportunity. It's hardly impossible. Hardly impossible proves nothing. You have no evidence for this assertion.
Objection!
There is no other way that the body could have been moved. Surely you haven't forgotten it was Mr. Saint who dropped Mr. Knight's body down the well. Yeah, what she said. You're miles off, Edgeworth. Oh, I probably shouldn't push this any further for now. Okay. So it's actually not anything to do with... It's around 3 AM the night before the show. I had them bring him to my office. But I tried the only piece of evidence I have that feels logical here. Keep pressing. Okay.
Hold it!
What did you and Knight speak about? Oh, nothing much. Just some small talk, really. I asked him about what animals he liked, what his hobbies were. His hobbies? Then I imagine you talked about chess? Oh, yes. I couldn't stop him talking about it, in fact. He even had a piece of paper covered with little notes about it in his cell. At least I think that's what they were about. So she's seen Knight's correspondence chess diagram. Okay.
Hold it!
Okay. How was he when you spoke with him? Oh, he was so open and honest, darling. What? That guy? Honest? He was talking about one croissant and promoting a prawn. I suppose he must have been hungry. En passant and promoting a pawn. It seems he spared no one from his obsession with chess. Okay.
Hold it!
If he really had gone back to his cell, he would still be alive today. You really think I murdered the poor man right there in my office, don't you? But what would my motive have been, darling? I told you, I barely knew him. I'm no angel, I have my grudges against Canis, but Knight had nothing to do with that animal. She really does hate Canis. Warden Laguard, I must insist that you append that statement to your testimony. Knights had nothing to do with that animal. Is this the point where I need to play what I thought I needed to play earlier? Let's try it. I'm going to roll the fucking dice, guys. I'm going to roll that dice, okay? Correspondence chess?
Objection!
Yeah, there we go. Excellent. Judge Cavell, I'd like you to take a look at this. Notes about a game of chess. What is the significance of this, Mr. Edgeworth? It was found in Knight's cell, which is exactly where you said you saw it too, Warden Laguard. But you didn't just see this game in Knight's cell, did you? You've seen it in Mr. Canis' cell too. What do you mean?
Objection!
Oh, come now. Don't tell me you haven't taken a look at the chessboard in the maximum security. I imagine you watch his every move like a hawk. Or rather, I imagine you feel that doing so is your only option. Yes, you must find out who his cronies are, right? Personally interrogating your own prisoners is highly irregular, to say the least. But as you said, Mr. Canis had threatened you. He put your precious home at risk. That's why you took it upon yourself to question him. You wanted to find out who his dogs were. And so what if I did? You also told us you read his letters, which means you must have known about one key fact. You knew he was playing correspondence chess. Ah! And then who should appear but Knight, carrying with him a diagram of a very particular game? We ourselves used that diagram to infer a connection between the two men, and it seems you came to the same conclusion. But in your fear, you took your reasoning one step further. You surmised that Knight was Mr. Canis' henchman sent to kill you.
Which is the real reason she had that chat with the Bronxster. If his boss wouldn't crack, maybe he would.
And when you questioned Knight, you made another discovery. For there inside his chest set, you found a hidden chisel.
The murder weapon itself.
As far as you were concerned, that chisel meant one thing. Canis. Thus, you convinced yourself that Knight was working for Canis, and that is why you killed him. I see you have no more excuses. Judge Gavell, your verdict, please.
Much as it grieves me, there would appear to be little room for doubt. I hereby give my verdict. Bronco Knight was murdered by... In the name of the goddess of justice, who is it this time? Warden?
It's a joke. It's all a big stupid joke. You people just don't get it, do you? I think we've proven that it's you who didn't understand things correctly. Me? Please, darling. I understand it all perfectly well, thank you very much. I don't understand there's a glaring contradiction in your theory, Mr. Edgeworth. Huh. You're just grasping at straws now. I have no time for this. Your Honor, the verdict. Oh?
I am curious to hear what the warden has to say.
What? You're a dollar of vanity. I have just one last thing to say, then. Mr. Edgeworth can declare himself the winner. You rang? Does anybody remember a certain autopsy report?
Of course. We received the finalized version only this morning.
That's right, and I was listening to what you told us about it, Vanity, even if nobody else was. You said the wound was 4 inches deep.
4 inches?
Wait. Riddle me this, Mr. Edgeworth. How does a tiny chisel make a 4-inch wound? Ooh.
Forgive me, O goddess. I came perilously close to making a terrible mistake.
Looks like your theory is the one that doesn't hold water, Edgeworth. What now,
What do we do?
It'll be fine. Mr. Edgeworth always comes through. Right, sir? Uh-oh.
Looks to me like the Mausatron's out of commission.
You're an attorney too, aren't you? Why don't you do something? Turn things on their head with a desperate bluff. Blow out the first mind-blowing thing that comes to you.
Look, Detective, I'm as much of a man of action as the next guy. But without evidence, we're up a creek without a paddle here. This might be the end of the road. We can't give up now. We have to do something.
I'm certain that Warden LaGuardia is the killer. It's the only explanation that fits the facts of the case. But if the chisel wasn't the murder weapon, what other bladed weapon is there here in this facility?
It seems we still don't have all the answers, nor the evidence to provide those answers. Alas, we must wait until the trial to see this matter resolved, I'm afraid.
Objection!
Ooh.
Oh, come on, G. You're just giving the killer a chance to destroy the evidence.
Overruled!
Are you calling the judicial process into question, Mr. Fender?
Ah, no, not me, nah.
I tried, Miles. Any bright ideas?
What is the real murder weapon, since it's clearly not the chisel? Confound it. This question throws everything we've deduced out the window.
Nothing to add, Mr. Edgeworth. Allow me to remind you that claims not supported by sufficient evidence are subject to the harshest penalties.
It's hopeless. I can't think of anything. I need more time.
Loath as I am to admit it, You can't give up now. Remember what Mr. Fender said. Simeon's counting on us. Without us, he's... Remember how upset he was. He was devastated. Nobody's in more pain than him over Mr. Knight's death. There's no way he did it. But if we can't save him, who will? And what's more, he believes in us. He's sitting in that cell waiting for us to bring him some good news. And I for one won't walk away until we have some.
Okay.
Gee, Miles, your little buddy there's quite the motivational speaker. And she's right, too.
When you find yourself on a rope, think of your client. Picture him pleading with you to help him. Doesn't that make you want to fight back as hard as you can till the very end? Think of your old man, good old Gregory. No matter how bad things looked, he'd always find a way to turn it around and save his client. And you're just like him, right? If there's any way to force a turnabout here, you're the one who'll find it. Simon's counting on you. Judge Gavell.
You seem to have recovered your composure, Mr. Edgeworth. But if you mean to attempt a defense, I would advise you to consider the ramifications. You have repeatedly proposed misguided theories and have made numerous false accusations. If you do so again, I will have no choice but to judge you unfit to serve as a prosecutor, and relieve you of your badge for good. She's right. I have put forward a number of theories that prove to be flawed in one way or another. Have I made some sort of fundamental oversight? Wait, she said my theories were misguided. Nothing to say, then the court will tolerate no more of your time wasting. I hereby...
Sir!
Mr. Edgeworth! Give my verdict.
That's it. I've been thinking about it the wrong way all this time. Are we playing chess? Are we playing chess? Oh, fucking hell. Alright. Okay. Chess time, I think. Maybe. My theories weren't misguided. I was being misled.
The defendant...
I think it's a little soon for that, Your Honour. I'd say it's well past due, darling. Would you agree, Verity?
Mr. Edgeworth, you may proceed.
What? I'd like to remind you of a few things. The sighting of his dog helmet, the fact that he wasn't at the show. While others play chess, we play checkers. While others play checkers, I play hopscotch. These and other facts make Mr. Canis the obvious suspect at first.
This again, Mr. Edgeworth. You seem almost proud of your blunder.
Hold it!
But what if the real killer wanted us to suspect Mr. Canis? What if it was all carefully arranged? And what if the same was true of the chisel, our purported murder weapon? Knight had been stabbed multiple times in the same place with a bladed instrument. What if he was stabbed with the chisel after the real murder weapon had been removed? Just silly traces of blood in it for us to find. That was how the killer misled us into thinking the chisel is the murder weapon. But why mislead us in this way? Why indeed? Why make us think the chisel is the murder weapon rather than whatever was really used? In order to get Canis transferred. Warden, you took advantage of what the chisel seemed to suggest. What it suggested? What are you talking about, darling?
Hold it!
Mr. Winner, if I were to tell you that the murder weapon was the chisel, what would you think? Huh? That Mr. Canis is the killer? And there you have it. That was the trap the warden set for us. Oh, Mr. Canis has a bunch of chisels, so she wanted to think it was one of his, right? Indeed, that was the plan right from the start. To frame Bodhidharma Canis.
Your reasoning would appear to be sound. Warden Laguard certainly seems to harbor a deep and abiding hatred for Mr. Canis. However, I think you know what I'm going to say next.
That alone is not sufficient proof that Warden Laguard is the killer. I knew that wouldn't be enough. There's only one thing that will prove it. The real murder weapon that we now know must exist.
If you cannot prove your theory, then this conversation ends here.
Objection!
If we could just find the real murder weapon.
Objection!
How many times do we have to go over this? We searched the prison from top to bottom.
Eustace is quite correct. No other possible murder weapon has been found. So I'm afraid you're at a bit of an impasse.
There's one. There's one. And it is... I don't think we've got, like, the picture of it anymore. But you remember the equipment with the stake? This.
Objection!
Oh, I can still prove my case yet, Your Honour, because it's still here inside this prison. This would have made sure of that. The security gate. Huh. I'm glad you at least remember what it is. And do you remember what it does? Of course I do. I'm not an idiot. The security gate detects metal. Which means you can't bring anything metal into the prison or take it out. Oh! Precisely. If there is another murder weapon, it cannot have been taken off of the premises.
But nor can it have been brought into the prison in the first place. And so we find ourselves right back where we began.
Judge Gavell?
What I'm trying to tell you, Mr. Edgeworth, is that if you wish me to believe that there is another murder weapon here in the prison, you will also have to explain to me how it got here.
Alright, we know that the chisel was smuggled into the prison inside a pocket chess set, but our contention is that the chisel is not the real murder weapon. So if the murder weapon came from outside the facility, then there must have been a way to bring it in.
Yes, the question of the hour is this. Can you show me this alternate route? How did the weapon Warden LeGuard used get into the prison? You borrowed evidence from the police to help with your investigation, is that correct? Why, yes, sweetie. Everything related to Canis is with me now. Heaven knows how many times I've told the secretive scoundrel into my office to talk to me. Of course, that's how. The fact that this here is here with us shows how a bladed object could have been brought into the facility as well. Something smuggled in. Seized by the police during his arrest.
Take that!
Allow me to remind you of our conversation with Mr. Canis yesterday. Yes, it was but one of my bells, one of only two in existence. Just two? Two and only two. One for my knife, and one for my beloved helmet. Exquisitely crafted, utterly unique. My ears are my guide, after all. And I must be able to use my tools precisely. Of course, as you said, the knife has long since been taken from me. So you see, there is a way for objects to be brought into the prison and scrutinized. As part of the evidence, Warden LeGuard borrowed from the police. Canis is blind, yeah. What? Mr. Canis' knife was not part of the evidence in the case against him, and that evidence was here in the prison. Not only that, but the knife had a certain bell attached to it. The bell that was attached to the chisel. Correct. The killer took the bell from the knife and attached it to the chisel. But that can't be right. The chisel only had Mr. Knight's fingerprints on it. Easy enough to explain if the killer wore gloves. She made it look as though the chisel was the murder weapon and then attached the bell to it. In doing so, she made sure that all the evidence pointed to Mr. Canis. And who had access to the evidence from which the bell was taken? Why? Only the person to whom it had been entrusted. Who was it, sir? Who's been messing with the evidence? I believe that would be you. Isn't that correct, Warden LeGuard? Bells aren't exactly rare, you know. Anybody could have said that. Huh. And luckily for you, that isn't quite true. These particular bells are unique, because there are only two of them in existence. Ah! What? By attaching that bell to the chisel, you as good as declared yourself the killer. You don't have any proof the knife was ever here to begin with.
Hold it!
I don't. Not yet, anyway. Mr. Winner, I'd like you to order another search of the prison right away. Huh? But if you do find something, that's going to make things awkward for me. This isn't about what's convenient for you. We have to find the truth. You're a prosecutor, aren't you? Well, yeah, but, you know... I fucking hate this guy. This worthless excuse for a prosecutor. If I had investigative authority, I would be sitting on it. Anyhow, it's not my decision to make. The warden would have to authorize it. You know full well she will do no such thing. You have the power to insist on a search. Use it! Sorry, darling, but not without that evidence. The goddess of justice cannot bestow her blessings on those who lack the proof to support their claims. Our work here is done. The rest of this matter will have to be settled in the courtroom. No. If we give LeGuard the opportunity, she'll destroy whatever evidence is left. I have to object. I have to stop them. But what do I say? I don't have anything concrete to offer. What am I thinking? I'm never this reckless. Remember a short sequence ago? Kind of? No. I can't back down now. I've got to put everything on the line. I'm not a prosecutor right now. I'm an associate attorney with a client to defend. Only I can save Mr. Saint, and that means... even if my chances are 1,000,000 to 1, it's still worth a shot. It's now or never. Should I object? Objection! I suppose this must be how a certain serial bluffer always feels. I was told what happened to the real murder weapon. I was? Regardless, I cannot walk away.
Objection!
Wait, Your Honour. This had better be good, Mr. Edgeworth. I've got it. Got what exactly? The metal detector. The real murder weapon, of course. I know where Mr. Canis' knife is. Is it inside the alligator? Is it inside the alligator? Do you really, Mr. Edgeworth? It's inside the alligator, isn't it?
I do. Not at all.
If I did not know better, I would say that you were bluffing.
Ha! You wound me, Your Honor. I don't know the meaning of the word. This is terrible for my heart. There's no way you could... It's not here, I tell you.
Well, would you be so kind as to enlighten us? Where is the real murder weapon?
Think, Miles, think. Somewhere not even the police would search. A blind spot in this zoo. A hiding place the warden could be absolutely sure of.
A hiding place? No.
If you insist. Come on, Helmut, open up. Did she use the same trick? No, that's ridiculous, isn't it? But the more I think about it, how many foolproof ways to evade detection could there be?
Mr. Edgeworth, how long do you intend to keep us waiting?
There's the faintest possibility I'm right, but if I'm wrong, I stand to lose everything. Your Honor, this is where the real murder weapon is hidden. It's here. It's where the alligator lives.
Take that!
Ha!
Here, in the yard.
Indeed.
I don't believe I understand. Would you care to explain a little more?
Where exactly is the real murder weapon hidden?
Take that!
Of course. That's where it must have been. What's the matter, Detective? It's the metal detector, sir. It's a reaction to the alligator.
What? How?
The metal detector was reacting to something inside her, after all. Your Honor, I'd like you to remind you of this piece of evidence.
The chisel.
Didn't we just figure out that it isn't the murder weapon? You might recall that Mr. Canis hid the chisel in his dog's mouth. Would you believe that the real murder weapon was hidden in much the same way? Uh-oh. That's right. The murder weapon is hidden inside the alligator in that pond over there.
What?
No way! We detected the presence of a metallic object during our early investigation. Judge Gavel, we need to know what's inside that alligator.
Understood. Then we will need to summon a veterinarian. I'm sure I can get the little sweetie to open up for us. I'd be happy to give it a try.
Please, by all means. Warden Laguard, the real murder weapon is about to be revealed. Why not do the right thing and confess? I have nothing to confess! As you wish. Then you can simply wait and watch as your lies are exposed. Go. Sir, we got it!
This has to be it.
It's over, Fifi Lagarde. The real murder weapon was Bodhidharma Canis' knife, making you the only person who could have killed Bronco Knight. Oh, here it comes. I'm not the criminal here. This is all Canis is doing. I did the right thing. That was a threat. He was Canis' lapdog. That despicable man, Canis. Why did you have to come and ruin my perfect little home? We could have been happy forever if it wasn't for him. He ruined my paradise on Earth. He ruined everything. Curse him! That pitiless butcher! That awful, terrible, despicable man! Curse him! Oh. Oh my god! What? Unexpected. She was wearing an entire coat made out of other animals. Damn. Prosecutor Thwinner, sir. The test results just come back. Thwinner? I guess we've all been under a lot of stress. She ain't bad looking under the coat. She's kind of stacked. Traces of Bronco Knight's blood were found on Mr. Canis' knife. It's just like you said, sir. Congratulations on a stunning victory. Thank you, officer. Excellent work. You can continue complimenting me if you'd like. Yes, sir. Thwinner wins again. I think I'm welling up a little. With rage?
Excellent work, Eustace. Just a few loose ends to tie up and we're done.
Huh? What are you talking about? I just solved the case, didn't I? We have yet to confirm whether or not Knight really was working for Mr. Canis. It will be vital to know if Warden LaGuardia was simply jumping to conclusions on that front. Huh? There's Clueless, and then there's you. Well, then I guess we better get back to our investigation. She's a bit more informed than a bulky coat would lead us to believe. Yeah. Alright, officer, you're with me. You're about to see the winner win a whole lot more. Prepare to witness first-rate investigative talent in action. Yes, sir. I'm right with you, sir. Can't wait to watch you at work. It's winning time! Oh, my God. I expect this case will cause quite a stir. Hmm? The attempted murder of a president is news enough, and now his would-be assassin has been murdered. But Knight never sought to kill the president in the first place. The truth is not always as important as it might seem, Mr. Edgeworth. In the eyes of both society and the law. Interesting.
How can you even say that? You do not have to believe me. However, as a prosecutor, Mr. Edgeworth is obliged to accept that this is the reality of the world he operates in.
You've got to go for good. No worries, Hades. You take care. I think we'll be wrapping up soon anyway. So enjoy the rest of your day. We're back at 5:30 PM tomorrow night UK time for Monster Hunter Wilds. So look forward to that. And we're going to be playing Unknown Tapes at 5:30 on Sunday as well. My schedule on Twitter was wrong about that. So yeah, I'll cover off what I'm playing just at the end of the stream as well. So we are all free to believe as we choose, but the law is not to be toyed with for our own personal goals. If you refuse to accept this, then you must prepare to suffer the consequences. What does that even mean? Well, you're not going to take his.
I'm afraid I must be going now. Farewell, Mr. Edgeworth.
Judge Cavell is right. There must be only one set of laws for everyone. But if following the law means sacrificing the truth, can I really do that in good conscience?
Simeon, you out!
Hi, Regina.
Is everything alright? They did let you out, right?
Yeah, but I'm so confused about what's going on. Some guy just came in and said I was free to go, and I'm Mr. Edgeworth, thank.
You sure do. Mr. Edgeworth found out who the real killer is.
Wow, really? You did that for me, Mr. Edgeworth? Oh, no. Just stop staring at me like that. I'm innocent, I swear. Don't pull the rug out from under me now.
Stop it, silly. It's true. He saved you. So say thanks already.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Thank you.
And a great big Regina Berry thank you from me, too. Yippee!
Mr. Saint talking directly to me? Small victories, I suppose. Can I just ask one question, Mr. Attorney? Sure. I'm not actually an attorney, though. I thought Bronco was my friend. No, my best friend. I trusted him, but now...
But now?
Well, it's just... I never knew. I never would have believed that he could hate somebody enough to want to kill them. If he kept something like that from me, then he never really trusted me, did he?
That's not true, Simeon. Of course he trusted you.
No, he didn't. If he just told me, I could have stopped him. I could have told him that hate never helps. He'd said to let go of all that stuff. Mr. Saint, I think you're forgetting something. I should show him the thing that proves Knight trusted him. The chess set.
Take that!
It's the chess set I brought for him. Knight had hidden a chisel inside. I imagine he meant to use it to escape. What? You mean he was using me? No, he believed in you. He knew he could count on you to bring it, and that you would never be so untrusting as to look inside. I imagine that by not telling you, he was hoping he could keep you from getting caught up in his mess. Oh. Bronco! Why didn't you tell me?
Well, at least you understand now, right, Simeon? I'm sure he does. He may not show it, but Simeon's no dummy. A good night's sleep and he'll be completely over this whole thing by tomorrow.
That's not as complimentary as you think it is. I'll try. I have to, for Bronco. I have to show him I can become the best animal trainer out there. That's the spirit. That's fucking disturbing. Oh, I almost forgot. We're doing a new show soon. I'd love it if you could come, Mr. Edgeworth. Fabulous. Here's Max Galactica. I'll be joining Regina on stage for this one.
That's right, the Berry Big Six is the biggest, most fabulous event in town.
Fabulous.
You'll have oodles of fun. Sounds great, doesn't it, Mr. Edgeworth?
Well, I'll think about it.
Alright, Simeon, we got some training to do. I think it's time you and Regent got acquainted.
What? Regent the Tiger? No way, I can't. No.
Oh, you'll be fine, silly. You'll never meet a nicer kitty cat.
I can't. Please, Regina, anything but that, please.
I'm not a satisfied customer. Well, that really was something, Smiles. Talk about pulling it out of the bag.
I couldn't have done it without you, Fender. Without your timely intervention, she would have gotten away. Besides, I have you to thank for even being able to investigate the case in the first place.
Oh, stop it. Pound me in the back any harder and you're going to make me blush. I'll topple over.
I suppose we'd be asking too much for you to take this seriously. Seriously? Miles, my friend, I'm always serious.
Anyway, how's it feel to save an innocent client? That's what it means to be an attorney, after all.
To be an attorney? Gotta say, I had a blast. Reminded me of the good old days. Like Gregory was standing right there beside me. Ha! It's been like a zillion years since I felt this one fuzzing on the job. That's good? Bittersweet? I'm not sure. Say, Miles, you ever thought about going into the defense game full-time? Excuse me? You know, pick up where Gregory left off. Get out there and actually help people. You heard good things about I-2-3? Ooh. I do a little clap. Okay. Hey, pal, don't get any big ideas. Mr. Edgeworth ain't about to switch sides. Why not? Coming over the light side's all the rage. Everybody's doing it these days.
Come on, Mr. Fenn, you know something about that. Chill, team, chill. Don't get it twisted. I was just asking a perfectly innocent question.
No, you weren't. Heck, you were.
Looks like you got a mean defense team right there yourself, Miles.
What was I clapping? Apparently I-2-3 is going to be good. So, I'm kind of excited. I'm like... Yeah, I'm excited for it. Yeah. Fender, I'm a prosecutor. Yep, and I'm an attorney. You could be one too. I'm serious. Well, I've said my piece. You change your mind, you know who to call. I'll be waiting. Following my father's footsteps. Interesting. Could I really do such a thing?
I'm going to become a defense attorney, just like my dad.
An attorney like my father. Me? There we go, we did it. Right, okay. Right, I'm going to pull over here now. Because we've been going for like almost 3 hours, which is a lot longer than normal. My voice is starting to give. But at the same time, like, I feel pretty good there. He's already following in his true father's footsteps on Karma. Hey. Watch where you're going. I'm walking here with your shoes and your shirt. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist that. Okay, Turnabout Legacy, huh? Another flashback episode, I guess. Okay, so just touching on what I said before with the next couple of streams this week. We've got Unknown Tapes on Sunday, which is dinosaur VHS style horror. We have got Monster Hunter Wilds tomorrow. Now, I need to check my band what's going on Tuesday, because I think we might have practice then. But so far, I've penciled in Super Duper Metroid Part 2 on Monday. At the minute, Tuesday is Alien Isolation. I will move that to Wednesday if I have band practice on Tuesday. And then I need to try and plan out the rest of the week, because Monster Hunter Wilds beta is still about on the Saturday after tomorrow. So, like, tomorrow, then the Saturday after that. How the fuck is my view count has actually jumped up a whole bunch. I'm just looking at my metrics here, and it's like, the Metroid Desolation True End Part 3 is 73 views. Horror video games keeping VHS tapes alive in the public consciousness. Yeah, we love to see it. And this one's really cool because it's like dinosaur based as well. So two things I really like jammed in together. We love to see that. I don't know what I'm going to fill some parts of the week in, so I'm going to have a think about that and see. I mean, I bought Darkest Dungeon with all the DLC on sale, so we might play some of that. I've got a hankering. I've got a hankering for some Grimdark, so yeah. We'll have a think about that. In the meantime, I'm going to go and get myself a cough sweep because my throat's starting to really hurt. I hope you guys had fun. We're just pretty much going to wrap up. We're not going to raid out songs. Like I said, my voice is shot to shit right now, and I just want to go rest up. So I will see you guys very soon. Take lots of care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out with me. And yeah, until next time, have fun. I'll see you soon.